on top. I'm ready to go. Feeling like a million eyes on me. I'm unstoppable. If you go against me, then you better compete. Yeah, yeah. Why you keep knocking at my door? Came to fight, yeah, that means war. Gotta level up, wanna settle the score. Yeah, feels a lot better than it did before. What you brand new, yeah, it's time to go pro. Go beast mode, better find a cheat code. On my throne, now I'm in my zone. Man, it looks better than it did before. I said the play don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game, say it now, and let the whole world watch. I said the play don't stop, just keep it going, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game. Go ahead, let them talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a warm welcome to all of you at AMD Esports GRANDSLAM. Gaming partner Logitech G, broadcasting partner Loco. Well, this is going to be me, Darshita, and I do have Raider with me. How are you doing, Raider?
Well, I'm pretty good and I'm pretty excited about the whole tournament coming up. Let's see how the Grand Slam begins. Let's see how the fights are going to begin from this day. This is the semi-finale which is going to bounce back onto our faces. So let's see what eventually happens. What are you feeling about this, Shita?
Well, I'm pretty excited right now, to be honest. The way everything is going, I'm just, waiting to see a great domination, either by one specific team or, just each and every team performing so well that we are just left speechless. And that's the kind of performance I guess we all are expecting from these teams right now.
Indeed, the performance is going to be on par right now. Let's see what eventually happens into the fights. Let's see how the game is going to be. And this is, of course, Skysports Grand Slam, which you are going to witness. The prize pool is going to be massive. That's going to be 15 lakh rupees INR. So that is also going to be very amazing. A massive prize pool along with a massive distribution of the prize pool will be there. Of course, and me, Raider and Darshita will be here to cast the whole matches and all. Along with us, Captain is also going to be here right now. And some other caster, Arka, also will be there. So, of course, you guys are going to enjoy a lot of momentum, a lot of, let's say, energy will be there into the casting and energy will be there into the matches also. So I hope you guys will enjoy, and for that moment I guess you should like, share and subscribe eventually.
Well, yes, let's go back into time and let's just have a quick reminder of how these things started. We started off with an open registrations and somewhere like 10,000 plus teams. There were 3,000 slots. We went through 5 rounds, then qualifiers, like 5 rounds. Then we went through quarterfinales, and now we are at semifinales. One step away from the end game, like just one step away. Semi-finales and then grand finales, and you already know the level of excitement we have right now, right, Raider?
Indeed. The level of excitement is on top right now. Other than that, if I talk about the whole structure, whole format right now, as you said, Darshita, that we had 5 rounds played by the teams right now, but eventually from the quarter finale, we had only top 12 teams which were qualified for the semi-finals, and those top 12 teams were UDOG India, if I'm not wrong, Global Esports, Enigma Galaxy, Incognito, Entity, Only Glitch, Ogless 5. Other than that, we had Insane Esports, Revenge Esports, and the Mayavi also, if I'm not wrong. So these were the teams which are actually qualified. Okay, top 6 teams were qualified. Sorry, that was my bad. So that was Revenge Esports, Mayavi, UDOG India, Insane Esports, and Nugget Entity Gaming were qualified for the semi-finale. These were the 6 teams which are qualified, and now these 6 teams are gonna face off against 18 invited teams which are invited into the semi-finale round, and 3 groups will be formed into each group there are gonna be 8 teams which are gonna fight. There will be a mixture of qualified teams from quarterfinale and invited teams also.
I mean, look at this format. It's just so difficult. Yeah. I know we are gonna have, for the audience, for ladies, for you guys, we eventually are gonna have a detailed talk about how the show flows is gonna go. What are the maps which are gonna be played? I know you have numerous questions going all around your head, but be patient. It's day 1 of semi-finales, and you already know, right, how important each and every day is here. Even one single point just changes everything. One finish point or one placement point just is going to change everything, and it's just the team left behind which needs to decide on what is going to be more important for them, I would say. So definitely yes, be patient is all that I can say right now. Day one semi-finales of AMD Sky Esports Grand Slam is all set to begin, and you are gonna be looking. We're like in within few seconds, we'll be going through all the details.
Well, about the details, we have this. The prize pool distribution is going to be here right now. The total massive prize pool is going to be 15 lakh rupees INR. At hashtag 1, whichever team is going to lift that trophy is going to get 8 lakh INR rupees. Other than that, at hashtag 2, the runner-up is going to get 3 lakh rupees. The hashtag 3 position will get you 1 lakh 50,000 rupees as well.
Well, that is all about the pride, the glory, and the huge prize pool. But let's just have a quick look on the point system. The first place, that's a delicious chicken dinner for you, gets 15 points. The second place, 12 points. The third place, 10. The fourth, 8. The fifth, 6. Eventually, if you are on the sixth place, you're going to get 4 points. Seventh place, 2 points. But that's difficult from 8 to 12th, I would say. You get one single point, and from 13th position onwards, you get 0 points. For one finish, you are eventually going to get, one finish point, but you have to be really very careful of each single point that you miss on this point.
Of course, at this point, we have to be secure about all the positioning, all the, let's say, gun game, all the aggressions which you are going to see right now. And this is the point system which Darshita eventually explained to you guys right now. So at the winner chicken dinner, we are going to get 15 points, of course. That's really very good. But the teams which are going to come at hashtag 13 to hashtag 20, well, they are going at loss right now with 0 position points. And if they have managed to get 1 or 2 finishes, that's all they are going to get. But other than that, we have to maintain a consistency. I guess these teams have to maintain a consistency of position and both aggression right now. So massive points for the placement, if I'm not wrong, but other than that, they also have to maintain the other thing, which is gonna be the finishes points.
Well, yes, talking about the teams, we do have the teams set onto your screens. As we said, we are going to have 3 groups: Group A, Group B, Group C, with 2 qualified teams, and the rest will be the invited teams in the semi-finales. These teams are going to be fighting against each other. That's every day 6 maps that they need to play, Raider.
Of course, in Group A, you can already see that we have Team Entity, Insane Esports, OR, teams like Revenant, teams EXO, Rivalry Esports. Other than that, we also have Team Celsius. Other than that, we also have one more team which is sitting in Group number A. But if we talk about Group number B, we are going to see Revenge Esports. Team Mayavi is going to be there, which is actually qualified if you remember. Other than that, we also have Team X-Park, Hyderabad Hydras are going to be welcome from that point. Other than that, we have all the other teams such as UDOG India. If we talk about Blind is also going to be there. Orangutan Gaming is going to be there. In Group C, UDOG India once again we are seeing. Other than that, we have Nugget. Team 8 is going to be there. Team Tactical Esports is also welcome. Skylightz Gaming once again eventually is going to be here right now. Other than that, we also have some other teams like Team Forever and Marcos Gaming. Well, we are going to welcome all of these teams, and we are very eager to see that how team are going to perform, how these teams are going to put the aggression into the pedal. Well, that's going to be very interesting to watch eventually.
Pretty interesting, I would say. 3 groups, 6 maps per day. And eventually, if we have been talking a lot more about the teams. We have been talking about everything. But right now, the only thing that I have, going behind back in my mind is we're going to have 2 groups fighting at 1 map. And we already know about the drop clashes happening, about the fights happening. So yes, what do you think, Raider? Are we going to see any kind of initial fights happening, or do you think it's going to be a silent game played?
Well, for that, let's go to the caster decks and let's eventually enjoy all of the things. Well, it is going to be very amazing to watch that how the clashes are going to be. Eventually, clashes are going to be, because this is the first day. The teams doesn't know about the whole drop situation which are going to be there. So there might be some drop clashes, but eventually after 1 or 2 matches, teams are going to pacify. Teams are going to play very strategic so that eventually they can gain more and more points. And this is day number 1 of the semi-finale. I guess some teams are going to aim for that hashtag 1 victory, hashtag 1 leaderboard system. So that is also going to be very amazing to watch, that which team is going to chase the hashtag 1 leaderboard. Other than that, let's see, the day 1 is going to start. The energy has already been built, but eventually let's see what happens in the lobby.
I will say this: you really need more and more energy on the day 1 itself. It's not about just being the most energetic on the day 1, but yes, I would say this, that you need to be consistent overall. If you perform really great on day 1, day 2, and eventually your performance somewhere just you fall off the line on day 3 and day 4, you lose some points. But talking about the matches, there you go, the schedule is all set. We are going to play 6 matches today, and it's going to be like the first map Erangel, then Miramar, again Erangel, again Miramar, and I guess it's going to be repeating once again itself. But what's difference is the first match is going to be played by group A and B, whereas the second match is going to be played by group A and C. Same as goes for the third match is group B and C, and this is how the matches are going to be played.
Well, of course, it is going to be very amazing to watch that how the teams are going to fight it out, because all the matches are going to be very, very amped up. The first match is going to be in the map of Erangel. Well, that's a 8 into 8 kilometers map. It's a good map where all the teams have actually born, all the teams have actually risen and fallen. So, of course, it is going to be very amazing to watch. But when we talk about the map of Miramar, well, that is also of 8 by 8, but the huge amount of landmass is actually going to be differing very, very much. And in Miramar, you have actually a very open ridges. You actually play by the ridges. You actually play by the Miramar shots, or should I say, the DMR shots. The bolt action is there. We prefer long range or mid range weapons, so at that point we prefer the higher ridges. So some people actually climb onto the hills and and that all of these things are going to be there, of course. Other than that, it is going to be very amped fight. So let's see, this is the schedule, guys, which you can already see that match number 1 is going to be in the map of Erangel. Eventually we have three maps of Erangel today and 3 maps of Miramar. Match number 1, 3 and 5 is going to be in the map of Erangel, and match number 2, 4 and 6 are going to be in the map of Miramar. The only difference, as Darshita said, is going to be that the schedule, or should I say the groups, are going to be exchanged. Match number 1, of course, group A into P, and then match number 2, group A into C. So with this, the schedule is going to be like that. But other than that, guys, you can eventually see that our fights are going to be very amped up. The fights are going to be very amped up. The battle is going to be very amped up. This is day number 1. Teams have to put a lot of effort. They have to actually, let's say, see and let's say pacify all the lobby system, all the point system. They have to check drop clashes, they have to check plane path, they have to check the loot system. Then after they win, they have to actually put the point table, the leaderboard also into the mind. Then they have to fight back. So of course it is going to be a very hefty 5 days to watch.
Reader, I really need to say this, that somewhere, behind in my mind, I am missing that map of Senok. I don't know why, but, that map of Senok feels like a relief to the players, a relief to everyone, I would say. But this seems to be really dangerous right now. You see, you play the map of Erangel, it's like a classic map being played. Erangel is like a classic map. You play it, you are really habitual of playing the map of Erangel. But when it comes to Miramar, oh man, that map just hits different. You see the change of strategies, you see the change in the pace of gameplays of player, and eventually
I guess there's an audio glitch from your side, but other than that, yes, of course, the map of Sanok. We were talking about the map of Sanok. Well, that is going to be very impressive to watch, because that is.
We are facing some technical difficulties, but no worries, we are back.
Okay, now you can go on.
Okay, so yeah. So the thing is, you go from Erangel, you go to Miramar, it is really very difficult to, just change the pace entirely. We see some teams just sparkling when it comes to the map of Erangel, but at the same time on the map of Miramar, somewhere these strategies create a lot more of problems for them, and in the end, you see them facing a lot more of difficulties, I would say, during the map of Miramar.
Indeed, man. But other than that, if you talk about the map which is going to be missing in this whole situation, that is going to be Sanok. Well, that's a 4x4 map, a small map where you never know that where the teams are going to pop from, where the players are going to hit you, and there are a lot more snakes in Sanok. But other than that, well, Erangel is also going to be played like a snake map after the 6 or 7 zone, let's say. But eventually it is going to be very, very amazing to watch that how the teams are going to strategize their gameplay for day number 1, and then how they are going to shift the game in day number 2 and the remaining days right now. Because of course day number 1 is going to be, let's say, a very experimental day. These teams have to experimentalize with whatever skills they have developed from the past experience or upcoming skills they are going to gain. That is going to be very amazing to watch, that how the teams actually strategize their upcoming days, or should I say upcoming matches which are going to be there. And yes, of course, according to the schedule, each and every group, each and every team is going to play minimum of 20 matches as per the schedule. So of course there is a massive number of matches which are going to be played in the map of, and let's say in the whole semi-finale situation. So let's hope all the best teams are going to qualify for the grand finale.
I will say that experimenting right now can really make these teams go into a lot more of troubles. You see, right? You see that we already had a word on this, that right now semi-finales, it's just about the competition. It's just about one team just waking up and deciding to just go and fight for it. That's all I can frame it right now, like one team that decides to be that, no, right now we are going to be silent, we are not going to be going too much aggressive, and the other team decides that no, we are not going to wait, or we are not going to stop back, we are just going to go ham all over our enemies, and that will create a problem, right? That's the main issue that arises. So it depends all upon the strategies that the teams are been playing for such a long time. Yes, I do agree that they are been playing it for such a long time, but nevertheless, you just can't predict this game of BGMI. I would say is not predictable at all.
Indeed, it is full of suspenses. So
Exactly.
eventually, the first match is going to be played into the map of Erangel as per the schedule, and the groups are going to be Group A and B. So let me tell you about the teams which are going to play in the group number A and group number B. So well, in terms of group number A, we are going to see Team Revenant, XO, Rivalry Esports, R Esports, Team Celsius Esports, OR Esports, Entity Gaming, and Insane Esports. Well, these two teams, Entity Gaming and Insane Esports, respectively, have been qualified from the quarter finale. So they are the qualified teams. We have to be remembered about that. But the invited teams are going to be the top 6 teams which I told, that is Revenant, XO, Rivalry, R Esports, Celsius, and OR Esports. These are the invited teams, and Insane Entity are going to be invited. Other than that, if we talk about group number B, well, we are going to see Team X Park as invited, Hyderabad Hydras also invited, Reckoning Esports, Old Root, Orangutan, and Blind respectively has been invited in the lobby for group number 2. But if I talk about the qualified teams which have been qualified from the quarter finale, well, that's going to be Revenge Esports and Team Mayavi. Well, they have qualified, they have put down their efforts, and these teams also have put down efforts. Just because they are invited, that doesn't mean that they have not set a goal, they have not set a mark. Of course, they have set a mark in the last upcoming tournaments, tournaments which have been there in the Sky Esports journey. So these are the group number 1 and group number B. Let's say group A and B which are going to fight it out. So Darshita, what you are expecting from these two groups?
Well, as I said a while ago, this game is out of my prediction right now. I guess the BGMI gods are not into my favor this time, or I don't know what's going on. But every time I predict something, it just goes opposite to that prediction. So I guess this time I'm not gonna start my day with predicting something. I'm just gonna wait and watch back of what these teams have got to serve us today. What are the level of performance? What is the level of fight? I would say we witnessed today.
Of course, it is going to be very amazing to watch. But eventually, if I talk about teams from Group C also, because we are going to see in match number 2 them. So that's going to be Skylightz Gaming, Team 8-Bit, Tactical Esports, Enigma Gaming, Marcos Gaming, and Team Forever. Well, they are going to be invited. Other than that, Team UDOG India and Team Nugget has put down the effort, and they have been qualified into the battle, and they are putting their pedal into the semi-finale. Well, that's going to be very amazing to watch. But eventually, top 10 teams from all these 28 teams are going to qualify for the grand finale, where 6 more invited teams are going to be there. So let me tell you about that. So the 6 teams which are going to be invited are going to be like this: that top 2 teams from the previous season of Grand Slam are going to be invited in the grand finale. Well, that's Team BLT, formerly known as Team INT. Other than that, Team Soul is also going to be there, just because they were the runner-up of the previous Grand Slam. Top 2 teams from Championship 3.0 is also going to be there, that is Godlike and 7C Esports. And if I talk about top 2 teams from the Mobile Open, which happened just like 1 or 2 months back behind, so that is going to be Team TSM and Cayman Esports. So if you guys are expecting these teams, well, there is your answer, that these teams are going to be invited in the grand finale, just because they have set their mark, they have proven themselves, and they are going to be there in the battle of the legitimate winners.
Well, the battlefield is set. The battlefield is set. We as casters are ready, and I know the audience is really very excited to get into the very first map of Erangel semi-finales, day 1 of AMD SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM. But okay, I need to just keep on reminding you guys that we do have a broadcasting partner logo. So the first 3 maps will be broadcasted on YouTube and Loco. But if you are if you are really excited to know of what 3 last maps looks like, you need to go to the Play Store, download Loco, and make sure that you join us there. Well, once again, onto our screens, we do have all the 3 groups there, and there the teams fighting not just for glory and pride, but for a huge prize pool. That's a 15 lakh prize pool.
Well, that's a massive chunk of money. But other than that, you can see that we already discussed about the whole teams which are going to fight right now. So eventually you can see that from Group A, let me remind you that which are the 2 teams which are going to be qualified from the quarter finale. Well, that's going to be the team which is known as Team Entity Gaming and Team Insane Esports. You can see the logo on the front foot. Other than that, if I talk about Group B, well, the 2 teams which have been qualified are going to be Revenge Esports and Team Mayavi respectively. But other than that, if I talk about Group C, we have Team UDOG India and Team Nugget, which have been qualified from the battle of quarter finale. finale. So that is going to be very amazing to watch. But that how these teams coming up from the quarter finale are going to fight with the elite teams which have been invited into the lobby. So that is going to be very amazing to watch. But eventually, only the top 10, only the cream of the whole lobby is gonna qualify for the grand finale, and where teams like Soul, teams like Velocity, teams like, let's say, Godlike, 7C Esports, TSM, Gaming Esports is gonna come and meet them and grind with them, and let's say grind and fight for the trophy which is gonna be there for the Grand Slam.
Well, definitely. Raider, I do right now have my eyes on the qualified teams. Like, they have made a long way to reach the semi-finales, and I'm really keen to know of what strategies do they have to showcase us next. We have seen them fighting. We have seen them fighting from round one. Then it was like quarterfinales, and right now they are qualified to semi-finales. What's next? What's next is what I'm waiting. Are we gonna see the same teams, the qualified teams that we have right now in the semi-finales? Are we gonna see the same faces qualified to the grand finales? And if yes, which teams are gonna be? Well, I just have a n number of questions just running around my head, I would say. But definitely, chats, if you are hearing us, if you hear us, make sure y'all guys spread as much love as possible for your favorite team. Keep spamming hearts before we just head into our very first map of Erangel, and do support your favorite teams.
Of course, make sure to support your favorite teams, and eventually if your team is not even performing, the support is needed as well as that. So you should support your team even when they are not performing. So that's the thing which I wanted to say. Don't provide any kind of hatred for your favorite team, or let's say any other team which are actually going to perform, because they have put down a lot of effort to be here. A lot of grind was there, a lot of time, a lot of, let's say, aggression, or let's say, or a lot of efforts were there, so that eventually they are in the lobby. So of course it is going to be very amazing to see, but I want to see the qualified teams from the quarter finale to go to grand finale also. Well, that is going to be very amazing to watch. That these teams such as Insane Esports, team Revenge Esports, if I'm not wrong, yeah. So these teams, if qualified for the grand finale, well, that is actually going to be a very glorious sight to see.
Definitely, yes, it is gonna be amazing. One more thing, right now, Raider, that I do have in my mind is we have seen these players going all gun blazing towards their enemies. We have seen everything happening, but right now I am waiting for some grenades action, for some grenades chucking off, and we have seen this 1v3, 1v2 with some grenades, or maybe a different flank. These are some kind of different strategies that I would really like to witness in the very first map of Erangel. We know, right, Erangel is a classic map being played, and we know that right now at the very beginning, after the flight path jumps in, or after the flight path comes onto your screens, I guess the players would definitely wish to go off to their primary drop location and just loot everything that they need, put their hands on everything that they need to entirely fight this. But at the end, I would really appreciate, I would really want to see, I don't know why, but back in my end, don't kill me for this, but I would really wish to see a drop clash happening, or maybe initial fights, gun fights, pistol fights. These are the things that's gonna be really very interesting to have an eye for.
Well, of course, for us casters and our audience, the gunfights are going to be very amazing to watch. But for the esports athletes which are going to play, well, I guess they are going to actually be very pressurized about the drop locations and the drop clashes. Because when a drop clash occurs, then you don't have the guns, you don't have the utilities, or should I say the utilities like frag grenades, or some other things like smoke grenades, so that you can deflect the path. So these are some things which are actually going to penetrate a lot into the mindset, or let's say put a lot of pressure onto the esports athlete. But eventually we will see they have to deal with all of these situations, because eventually the clashes are going to be there. Some clashes, or let's say some slam will be there. Some other team is going to slam onto you. Pushes are going to be there. The fights are going to be there after the zone actually gets ended. Rotational clashes are also going to be there. So it is actually going to be very amazing. But for that point, guys, we have the flight path coming up. Let's directly switch onto it and let's see how the flight path is going on.
Well, the point that everyone has been waiting for so far, the very first match, ladies and gentlemen, of AMD SKYESPORTS Grand Slam semi-finales is all set, and there you go. The fly path, it's just causing me a lot more of tension, I would say, of what exactly is gonna happen. It's just preferring one side, it's gonna be a complete eastern sides, and the western sides are just being left behind right now.
Indeed, that's a very amazing flight path, as you all can see. Literally, if I can say that the western part, such as Prismok, is not going to be that easily accessible. Other than that, Georgipol is going to be there where teams actually want to drop, but they won't be able to drop just because the flight path is very, very far away. They have to get some utilities such as vehicles, or let's say they have to glide away so that eventually they could just reach the preferred path. Other than that, military base is pretty empty at this point, I guess, if I'm correct. Other than that, team number 3, that is going to be Team Revenant, is also jumping onto the farm area. Milta is also going to be contested. So let's see eventually how the fights are going to pacify from that point. Other than that, you can already see the whole roster of all the other teams. On the left side, you can see the rosters of Revenant, Exo, Rivalry, the other teams such as Celsius Esports, OR. Then we also have Insane Esports. So look at that play zone coming up. Oh man, Darshita, what do you have to say about that?
Oh my god. I mean, I just said a while ago that I am not predicting anything, and after seeing this, I don't know what do I need to just react. The fly path that's completely eastern sides, and the play zone that's just going complete to western sides. The first match, trust me, Raider, it's gonna be, and oh my god, look at that initial fights even coming up. This is gonna change everything. I asked for initial fights. I asked for fights to just start as soon as players drop down, and I guess there you go. First picks Skrills. Oh, I mean, I'm just falling out of words right now.
Indeed, the players are going down at this moment. Look at that. The flight path has actually majorly pushed players to actually get a clash. But other than that, team Orangutan Gaming is very safe, if I'm not wrong. Well, they are going to actually hold the areas of military base bridge, and then they are going to push from that angle. Other than that, Milta Power and Milta is actually very contested, where the teams are going to fight, where the teams are going to put that contestment into the perspective. So let's see eventually how the fights are going to be. Let's see how the battle are going to push from that angle. And there we go. Team Reckoning is going ham. They have already got 1 finishes in the lobby, and that's a really very great start for the team right now. But other than that, team UDOG Esports is going to actually lose 1 good player of their team right now. Some shots are actually being there. Mr. Space trying to put some more guys from the vehicle, but I guess that is going to be a very tiring task for him.
Well, I guess this was not something that I really was expecting for the very first match. But there you go, aggression all over, guns blazing all towards your enemy is what these players want right now, and they are doing it at their best right now. Coming back to the sides of team Exo there, well, you can see one player, that's Sonic, and man oh man, this player has been stuck into a very very bad situation. No backup, that he has no players, and I guess he's really running low on utilities to play and fight around with. And I don't know whether this guy is gonna, is being able to survive or no, but I guess he will try his level best to fight out, and tackling a 1v4 situation can be really difficult right now.
Indeed, at this point, he doesn't have that great of utilities. Look at that. He has been started from the left angle, and just like that, he goes down. Team Revenge Esports loses Sonic Fox, and with that, Team Revenge Esports is going on the backward areas. Well, Darshita, I guess losing 1 good guy of your team is actually going to demotivate you a lot.
I don't think this team, wanted to start the day like this. I mean, losing your very important player at the starting 4 minutes is just gonna jeopardize all the strategies that you have put through. But right now you need to re-strategize and focus on what's next. Team Exo got their very first finish on an initial stage, but talking about the sides of Team Revenge, I don't know. I'm really not sure of what strategy they do have next. You look at Final Boss, he's really not having such a good gun to play around with, and moreover, if you talk about fights, yes, it's gonna be an initial drop clash even happening, and that's scaring me more right now.
Well, of course, these drop clashes are actually going to be very amazing to watch. If I talk about Team Rivalry, well, they are going to face Team Revenge. While Revenge has actually choken down, and they have lost 1 good guy of their team right now, but still they have got good number of guns. If I talk about Shark, he has a barrel. Other than that, he has a UMP45 in his hand right now. But look at that. Team Revenge Esports is actually going to push in. Team Rivalry is actually on the left angle, and they could actually provide a very good flank from that point, and they could easily eliminate more and more guys. And that is why Team Revenge has been gate capped, and they can't actually rotate, or they can't actually move at this point.
They just have been caught by each and every angle, and now if you look around, they have they just can't move away from their position. Even if they try to move a bit, they will be caught by some or the other angle, and that's done and dusted for them. And I guess that's the thing. Final boss being caught will be punished and has to depart. Well, I guess he will be finished completely. Well, yes, there you go. He has been finished completely at this point. Team Rivalry even getting very first of their finish. Looking at the very initial movements of this map of Erangel Trader, I guess this map is just gonna change everything for us. I mean, look at this. Like, players are being isolated, and these isolated players are just being caught up by one team entirely. The team is just going gun blazing towards them, and that's done and dusted. One player being eliminated.
I really feel very sad about the team Revenge right now because they don't have good utilities. They don't have anywhere to go at this point. And I guess this could be the first ever team to get eliminated from this lobby. And that is going to be very, very, let's say, demotivating for the team right now. But I guess they have to bounce back eventually. But we can see that the first match of Team Revenge Esports is not going as they have thought.
I guess yes. It's difficult. It's difficult. You look at you look at Akshay, the last two remaining players. I guess Akshay is there. He's been waiting, just holding back and trying to not just locate himself, because he knows if he does that, it's gonna be really difficult for him. On the other hand, you see some teams, they just have a great compound to work around with. Great, they're just putting their hands on great loots, and I guess that's a pretty good movement for them right now. You can see them just waiting behind, looting everything, and then if you get one vehicle, you go for these zones. But Raider, the zone this time is just not supporting these players, and I somewhere can see a rotational clash happening very soon.
Yeah, well, that is also going to be amazing. After the drop clashes, I want to see some rotational clashes which are going to be there, and that is going to be very amazing. And after that, we are going to see some pushes also going to be there, because the western zone doesn't have that much of compounds as we actually compare it with some other locations. We have Team Hyderabad Hydras. First knock is actually on the front foot. Other than that, if we talk about Team Reckoning, we have Abrar and Maxi with that Scarl, and Abrar is also there with the guns which he has actually been looting for the point. But if we talk about Team X-Spark, well, there we go. We have Mavi, Viru and Gil in the lobby. I don't see a scout for the moment, but still, of course, these three guys are actually one of those guys which can actually turn the tables very, very easily. In Mavi, the god Erangel is actually trying to push in at the compounds and trying to loot all and secure all the other positioning which are going to be here.
I don't know, just the thought of not having one of your players somewhere scares you down. You don't have one player to go find around you information, or maybe the one who will initiate the fight, or someone, and it's really very difficult to cope up. But nevertheless, I guess Team X-Spark will be doing their best to tackle out of this situation. Right now, talking about the sides of Team Revenant as well, moving forward, trying to just relocate themselves, go in for a good position, but no, not a good position, I would say. You can see one fight already coming their way. Ash has been caught into a different position, top dog with that grenade. Well, that grenade can just rain hell on Ash there, but I guess no, the vehicle is being caught. Some sprays. Oh, that was a great level of damage that he did provide, but nevertheless was not able to take one player down.
And look at that, Team Orangutan has already got a higher risk point at this moment, and they are just trying to go ham on all the other squads which are trying to push in onto them. But other than that, we also have Team Celsius trying to cut their rotations, and rotational crashes, as Darshita you said earlier, are gonna be there, of course. But if I talk about Billy Boy, well, look at that, insane! Adi manages to put Paradox down from this point, and just like that, he's not gonna secure that positioning. Top Dog is there for the revival. I guess that could be a revival possible, but Top Dog goes on and on and on. Just like that, Top Dog has actually pushed on from that angle, and he's trying to manage more and more positioning.
He's just trying his level best to take as many as he can. He took one and he's just waiting for one more. The greater height advantage that we always talk about is what the sides of Team Insane had right now, and that's the reason that Team Revenant just decided to go off the fight. And there you go, even you can see the live status on the other hands. You see 4 teams losing 1 and 2 of their players at such an initial stage, and this can be a lot more difficult for them, I would say, at the very last stages. But there you go, Revenant has to be really very careful. The vehicle is really on the mark to get just load off at any moment. Believe still trying to take Adi down. No, he didn't.
He tried very well to actually take him down, but at this moment he was unable to do that. Team X-Spark meanwhile is already here with 3-man power. Team OR has actually lost one good guy of their team. Team Revenant also going actually with the matching point. But other than that, if I talk about Team Revenge, well, that is actually the only team which has actually lost a lot of manpower at this moment. But other than that, we have the second zone also going into the southwestern corner. And look at that, Prismok is going to be the hub of fights right now. Other than that, Quarry could be a good hub where the fights are going to be. But I guess, Arshita, we can already see a military base clash coming up, because the Team Insane, and if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Team Orangutan which is going to clash at this point.
I just map of Erangel looks like to me. Is it gonna be a water zone? And if yes, I mean, this is gonna change things all around. Some teams, well, yes, we can see somewhere near like 40 to 50% teams that are right out of the zones. But on the other hand, you see the Novar Opnoi bridge there. The defense that has been allotted on the bridge is causing a lot more of problems for both of the team. I would say they have been hitting really bad with the damages of the zone. I understand that's the very first zone, but you need to be careful because you already know the zone is not supporting you. On the other sides, you can see multiple fights happening. Yeah. Exactly. Team Insane once again making sure to just take down as many enemies as they can. They got 2 for themselves, and right now they are looking for the third one as well.
Well, they are trying to decimate Team EXO at this moment, but Team EXO already manages to actually fall from that angle. But the IGL, Sensei has been picked off. Well, that's a bad side for Team EXO. But other than that, when the IGL has been picked off, now he can actually put that IGLing skill into perspective by actually looking on the 3 perspective of his teammates. But I guess if I'm not wrong, Panko was able to actually fall back from that angle. Immortal is still actually getting a very close call with the Team Insane. And that is actually going to be Snacks. Well, we have Snacks here in the fight right now. Let's see what actually Snacks does, because he is actually been cornered into the area of Pochinki, and now he has to fall back. Now he has to push into the zone. Otherwise, Team EXO is going to be very, let's say, short man powered at this point.
Well, look at the utilities he's playing around with. 7 first aid kits, 5 bandages. I guess he saw this coming. He saw this coming and he just made himself ready to fight around with. He'll be trying to go in, but there you go. Team Revenge Esports will be eliminated with 0 finishes. Not a really good start for them, but I guess the next upcoming map can really change things around for them. 2 finishes for the team there. But once again, Raider, the thing lies there only. Right now, you are out of the zone. You are way far away from the zone. And the moment you try to enter the zone, you'll be gatekeeped. And once that happens, you know how difficult it is to tackle the gatekeeping situations, right?
Indeed, because you are getting pressurized from the guns of the enemies. And other than that, the zone is also punching you really very harshly. The utilities are going to burn up very soon. So these are a few things which are actually going to turn in very ugly for you. But look at Team Insane Esports stats right now. They have got the 4-man power. They have got 2 amazing frags into their quartet. And that's going to be very amazing. Well, of course, Darshita, Revenge has been picked off. That is actually a really very bad side for them. But I guess we were actually early predicting that this is going to happen. But Team X-Spark is also getting decimated. We have Gil, if I'm not wrong, who have been picked off. That is really very sad for him. And Gil goes down by the hands of Team Reckoning. Well, Team X-Spark already getting very tagged because they didn't have Scout, if I'm not wrong. But other than that, Mavi and Viro are going to survive from this point.
Well, yes, that is going to be 1 more fight. That's going to be top dog there with that grenade. Well, I guess that grenade is not going to get any connections by far. Top dog is still trying to go around and scout for enemies. But on the other hand, Encore makes sure to just, pop a few sprays on the vehicles there. I guess he's not able to take a single player down. On the other hand, when you talk about Team X-Spark, well, yes, Gil has to depart, has to go down completely. It's just going to be this amazing duo left. That's going to be Mavi and Viro. Well, they are just heading forward, and there you go. He will spray down badly, but will just move the vehicle in the opposite direction. And right now, it's going to be a 2v4 fight. Viro is all set to go forward and scout for more and more information, whereas Mavi is a bit far away from him.
Well, now if we talk about Team Insane, well, look at that positioning they have got. They have got the higher Regis point at this moment. Team Rivalry is actually getting tagged by them. Team Blind is also onto the side right now. Look at that. Pokemon could be picked off, and he was actually tagged out really very harshly, but he was unable to put down. But now Viru also goes on, and with that, Team X-Spark is not looking that sharp in the point right now, in the fights right now. They have managed to qualify. They have managed to actually get the invite, but now in this fight, I can see that Team X-Spark is getting choked out very harshly just because they didn't have the manpower. They were actually choked out onto the zone clashes, or let's say rotational clashes, which were there. But now Team Entity playing really very calm and getting the finish of Viru was actually a very great start for Team Entity. And with that, look at that, Team UDOG Esports Sultan also manages to put down Vexy from this point, and now Team OR is also getting the trouble.
Well, Team Entity eventually getting into multiple fights, I would say. Mavi on the other hand, and one more team on the other hand. Well, that's like you are being caught by 2 different angles, and eventually you can't just escape this compound. Well, Entity Shadow there holding a great inner wall cover for himself, but how long? How long is the biggest question I have right now. Even if you try to move in open areas right now, you'll be caught by any single team, and there. That's done and dusted. But on the other hand, when you talk about Team Xpark Mavi there, I guess Veeru was the solo player there who moved forward and engaged himself in that fight, and that's where all the difficulties begins.
Well, of course, you should know when to actually take a fight right now, and that is something which Team Xpark actually lacked at that point. But there we go. Team Insane is still trying to actually attack Team R Esports, and they are just trying to find more and more gaps trying to find more and more frags before the zone closes in. Because after the zone gets closed, look at that. The 4 zone is also going to get closed very, very soon in about 30 seconds. Well, that's going to be very amazing to watch. And now few of teams have actually got 2 frags, and that's going to be Team R Esports, Team Insane, and Team Reckoning also manages to get 2 amazing finishes. That's great. Team Rivalry, on the other hand, has only 1 finishes. But if I talk about Team EXO, after losing 1 good guy of their team, has got 1 more finishes into their courtyard.
Well, not such a satisfactory deal, I would say. Losing 1 player and getting 1 frag. I just I'm scared of what is gonna happening next. Well, we lost 1 team. That's gonna be the size of Team Revenge. But there you go, Insane Sayam. Well, he knows 1 player just lurking around. He catches Pokemon there and there, tries to spray him down. On the other hand, Mac even knows the position. There you go with that. Okay, he is being set on fire. But on the other hand, Insane Neo will catch Pokemon and he has to go there. Williams even has to depart. Team Insane just going all gun blazing towards the enemies. Pokemon has been completely eliminated. 2 finishes, or more 2 finishes, I would say, for the sides of Team Insane. On the other hand, Team Entity even getting into 1 more fight, gets 1 player down. But what's next?
Well, the next thing is going to be that team number 3 is going to push in, and they are actually going to try for the revival. But team 3 is actually getting tagged out. That is really very sad for Team Revenant, because now the tags are going to be very brutal, because from the backside, Team Reckoning is also here to chase more and more finishes. And look at that. The sides, look at the actually players going down. Look at the number of players which are getting finished at this point. The kill feed is very late. Insane Adi also goes down by the hands of Exo Panko. And finally, Team Exo is actually back in the fight. Mavi actually decides to put 1 guy down, and Mavi puts Maxi down at this point. And if I'm not wrong, Maxi could be finished off from this point. Mavi is trying to eliminate more and more guys, but that kill was stealed by the hands of Team NTT Troy. Well, they are actually very effective in the terms of, let's say, stealing the kills and doing a third party.
Well, look at Mavi right now. The last solo, surviving player from the sides of Team Xpark there, and he's really into difficulties, I would say. He's been hit a lot by zone, and even if he tried to escape the zone, you just know you have players all around, and you'll be caught by some or the other, and that's done and dusted for you. On the other hand, when you talk about Skrills, there the vehicle is being just so damaged that even 1 bullet touching can just boom it off completely. Team Mayavi, on the other hand, have lost 1 player. Second player is down to the ground. 2 players surviving there, and there. Let's see if this revival is possible or no, because the point lies that it's a complete open area that these fights are going on. You don't have any inner wall covers to work around with, just a couple of smokes put around, and that's just to block the vision of the enemies. On the other hand, when you talk about Abrar with that grenade, well, he's trying to find an angle to just make that grenade go boom on the enemy, but I guess that's gonna be difficult. Mavi will be going in for that grenade. Goes Team Entity down there. Will that grenade get a connection? I guess no. 1v4 situation. Finds 1, takes 1 down. Well, that was amazing, but once again the zone hitting really bad. Team Entity manages to take Mavi off completely.
And with that, Team Xpark also goes down right now. And other than that, now Team Reckoning Esports is setting their sights onto Team Orangutan Gaming, if I'm not wrong. And there we go. The damage has been done right now. They're trying to put more and more raids, but the deflection was done. Mr. Spray also goes down, and now Skrills is going to be the last man standing of his team, and he is trying to deflect more and more shots. But other than that, NTT is also going to push in very, very soon. OG Trigger is also onto the front foot. So this is going to be very tiring for the team right now. Look at that team. Orangutan already chasing the dreams, already trying to actually clutch 1 squad at this point. And if I'm not wrong, Team Orangutan has managed to get more and more points. They have got 4 amazing frags into their courtyard, but NTT is also pushing, and with that, Reckoning goes down. Oh, that's really very bad. Team Reckoning has been taken down. Team Blind also goes down with 0 finishes. That's a really sad sight to watch.
Well, top 11 teams with 41 alive players, and the zone incoming is all that we have right now. Team Insane, well, they started the day amazingly, I would say, with 4 finishes, and they are trying to just move forward towards the zone. Right now, respecting your play zone is going to be important, and there you go. Just having a word about that, and Insane Mac has to go down due to play zone. The sides of Team Rivalry have been caught by Team Insane, but once again, I would say that respecting your play zone is going to be really very important. Neo has been caught. Siam has to depart at the same time. Team Insane losing their players, falling off like dominoes is something that that was not expected to happen, I would say, right now, because they were looking really very good. But the teams that are just managing to take so many finishes in their account in the very first map of Erangel are gonna look pretty aggressive.
Well, of course, the teams which are very aggressive at this point are going to be Team Insane. Other than that, we also have Team Reckoning going for the gun blazing fight, but they have been eliminated. And if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Team Orangutan, which were actually taking more and more frags at this point. Other than that, Team Insane is still managing the fights. They have got 4 frags. Adi and Neo are going to be the combination of deadly duos which are going to fight from this angle. And if I'm not wrong, Team Rivalry has some major manpower. Team Celsius, meanwhile, which was eventually tagged out by some other team, that is Team UDOG Esports, is still surviving in the fight. And now, UDOG Esports is also pushing in. Team Hyderabad Hydras is also decimating more and more points from this angle. And look at that. Carry also goes on. With that, I guess the damage is done. The fight is actually getting very tiring for the situation. But if I talk about Team Orangutan Gaming, after getting 5 finishes, now they are very pacifistic and they are trying to loot more and more guns so that eventually they will be ready for the next upcoming battle, which are going to be there for the 6th zone.
Well, they need to be ready, but there you go. Apollo needs to be careful. Goes down from first knock there and there. Celsius Beams trying to provide a great cover fire, but will that be enough? I doubt that's going to be enough, because you know the play zone hitting you really bad at this time. And as I said, you need to just respect your play zone. That's going to be really important. On the other hand, you see Exophios, that grenade chucking off takes Canary down there. Rivalry is being caught as well, but Insane Adi, that's done and dusted for the sides of Team Insane with 4 finishes. Well, Team Rivalry manages to survive throughout this fight, but right now they need to revive their players who are down. On the other hand, Striker FTW will be caught, and nice fire that we just saw, taking one player down, the other one behind, trying to go in for that revival. But will that be possible right now, Raider?
Well, I guess that could be possible, but other than that, the tags are actually being dealt. Team Mayavi is playing very safe at this moment because they have lost 2 good guys of their team. And there we go. Joker goes on ham right now. He's trying to eliminate more and more people. Edwino, meanwhile, is trying to heal up. But look at the fight. Snacks goes down by the hands of Joker 69, if I'm not wrong. Well, that's the player which is actually trying to eliminate more and more people. And from this angle, Team Mayavi is looking sharp, looking strong from the fight right now. And this is going to be the 6th zone, which is going to shrink in very rapidly. And we have Team RGE Sports coming up. Team Mayavi fighting it out. Team Rivalry remaining in the lobby. Other than that, Team Exo, Spunko is going to be the last man standing, which is going to be representing Team Exo. But look at that, guys. They were trying to cut the rotation, but Team OG Believe was like, wait a minute, buddy. Where are you going? Let me just put you down. And there we go. Another guy was taken down. Look at that jump shot.
Not just one, but Believe manages to take 2 there. Well, that was really amazing. On the other hand, you see one more fight happening for the sides of Team Mayavi. NTT will be eliminated there. There, that's done and dusted. Team Mayavi with 2 finishes. Well, they have 2 players surviving, but right now you can see them down to their bellies, not making any kind of noise. But Admino has to go down because of that grenade, and I guess that's the last surviving player for Team Mayavi. Well, Admino is being off completely. On the other hand, when you talk about Believe, well, he's just trying to use a great advantage of that height he has. Well, there you go. He got a great advantage. Striker FTW has to depart. Punku has been caught. His location has been revealed. Barely surviving. Can he make it? Well, he does. Oh my god, that was amazing. Barely surviving HP he had, and he manages to take 1 player down. OG Believe still trying to take as many frags as he can. Team OG with 12 finishes. Raider, that's a complete domination that they are showcasing right now.
Well, of course, the domination is done right now. Team Orangutan is actually trying to decimate more and more points. They have got a very good grasp of the lobby. They have got a very good hardcore compound from which they are fighting. They have got the high ridges. They can easily spot every snakes which are going to be here right now. And look at that. Team RGE Sports also finally actually get eliminated with the 4 points only. But other than that, Team Hyderabad Hydras are looking very sharp. They are just trying to play it really very safe. Meanwhile, if I talk about Team UDOG Esports, getting those tags is actually getting very tiring for the team. But still, they are trying to be very pacifistic. Now, Klaus has actually tried to put that damage. And now look at that. Klaus got the result and he has been picked off. That is really very sad for him. Now Sultan gonna be the last man standing, and I guess Sultan is also gonna go down by the hands of Team OG. Look at that. Team Orangutan by that high ridge is constantly trying to decimate, and look at the win prediction coming up. The OG is getting 36.36 predictions and Rivalry 27.27. Okay, Rivalry. Other than that, we have Hyderabad Hydras with 30% into their courtyard. That's great.
Top three teams, Raider. Top three
Yeah,
teams
indeed.
with 10 alive players. I am so excited. 13 finishes for the sides of team OG there. And I guess they won't miss this chicken dinner that they
Mhm.
really are looking forward to. Ash with that grenade is all set to get one player down. But will he be able to? Well, oh, there you go. First Nog has been down because of that grenade. Real MVP will be taking one player down. The rivalry MVP will be taking one player down. And all the other hands, on the other sides, team Hyderabad Hydras are being caught into a really difficult situations. But the zone, look at the zone. The sides of Team OG just holding the zone so amazingly. Ash will be going in for one more
Oh,
grenade. Oh my God, Ash! Oh my God! Not just one, but two players down. Ash is just raining hell on the enemies right now. Someone please give them an umbrella. I mean, this is just so amazing. Right now, Ace Black is the last surviving player, and I just am not sure of the fact that will he be able to survive or no. Ash is just looking forward to eliminate the sides of Team HH completely. Will be going in for an aggressive push,
oh.
and there you go, done. Oh my God, OG Ash 17 finishes for the sides of Team OG. Their rivalry is being caught as well. MVP is the last surviving player. 18 finishes. Well, they can make it to 19. Reed, I'm just falling out of words right now.
Well, they are going to get that winner chicken dinner for sure, but is it going to be possible for them to get that last flag also into their courtyard? Well, that's going to be the major thing. And there we go. They manages to get him. Ash was the one with the final elimination, final nail into the coffin, and with that team, Orangutan Gaming got that winner chicken dinner into their courtyard. Well, that was man, oh man, very amazing to watch. What a gun game by them. 19 frags and total 15 points for the position. Well, if we total it, well, my math is very worse, so I'm not going to total it up. But yes, of course, that was really very interesting to watch that how the battle was done.
Oh my God, Ash. This guy took three players down with two grenades, went in for an aggressive push, took the fourth one down. I mean, I am just not able to believe my eyes. 18 to 19 finishes, if I'm not wrong, Raider, right?
19, yeah.
19 finishes in the very first map of Erangel to the semi-finales of AMD SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM. I mean, this is a complete domination that the sides of Team Orangutan have showcased right now.
Well, let's go to the Kaza deck for that. But of course, the domination was very amazing. They got that hardcore compound from that angle beyond the quarry, beyond the east side of that quarry, and then they actually tried to decimate all the other teams. They actually tagged out Hyderabad Hydras. They managed to finish Team Mayavi also from that point. Team RGE Esports was also crashed down from that point. Team OH, that old Esports was also tracked, and eventually they actually managed to track down Team Rivalry Esports, and they were able to put them down also, put them down to the sleep. Well, that was really very amazing. We saw that many squads, let's say close to 5 or 6 squad has been decimated by this team.
I mean, I still remember before the very first map of Erangel, I said that I want someone to just, rain hell on enemies with that grenade. And Ash, out of nowhere, I mean, not just in the end fight that happened between, OG and Hyderabad Hydras, not just that, but before and even reading the kill field, we could just see Ash just going hell on enemies with that gunpowder he has. I mean, Team Orangutan right now, the first match, the way this team played the first match, I guess they were just on a hunt. It
Of
was
course.
just a hunt. It was just a lion on a hunt and nothing else that I could feel right now.
Well, as their short name, or let's say the abbreviation is called OG, they are the original gangsters of this lobby, because now they have put down the effect, they have put down the feature, they were actually trying their level best and they got 19 frags. Well, that was really very amazing. But let's talk about the runner-up teams which are there right now. Team Rivalry, starting from the initial station, Team Rivalry was the one which actually got Revenge Esports, if I'm not wrong, in the area of Milta Power, and from Milta Power, from the eastern end, they actually managed to rotate all the way to the Prismark in the near the area of Prismark, and then they actually fighted out. Then they actually managed to get the second position, just because the last guy of Rivalry was actually managing to put that heel battle into the perspective, and otherwise, if I'm not wrong, Team Hyderabad Hydras could have been taken the second position to be exact.
I guess I would definitely say this team Hyderabad Hydras, the 4-on-4 players surviving there. It was a complete 4v4 fight. I would say that they definitely had there. But the only thing I guess that went wrong there was 4 of the 4 players were stick together. I mean, they were together and one grenade just took off three, and that's where the difficulties begin. I mean, 3 players going down just because of 2 grenades is not something that you really expect, and that's where things become really difficult for the sides of Hyderabad Hydras. And then you know what Ash did. He just went all gun blazing. He took off the last player completely, and then it was just a 1v4 situation left for Team OG to get their delicious winner chicken dinner with the sides of Team Rivalry, last surviving player there, and that was done. He was out of the zone. He was getting hit badly by the zone, and that's where it was decided, right? It was completely decided that Team OG is not letting that chicken dinner go from their hands.
Well, of course, at that point when they were actually gun blazing from the top of that compound, well, they were trying to get that victory into their perspective. They were trying to get more and more frags because Billy was the one, if I'm not wrong, laying down on his belly and trying to put pressure onto all the other teams. But eventually, when we talk about the fight between Orangutan Gaming, and if I talk about the fight between Orangutan Gaming and Hyderabad Hydras, well, Hyderabad Hydras were pretty cornered onto the, let's say, southern end, and they were pretty cornered beyond the buggy and tree. And with that, they didn't have that much of cover. That is why they were pretty cornered, and that is why they were trying to revive their guys. And at that point, OG Ash thoughts of a good grenade, and then he puts that grenade, and two guys were picked off from that angle, and that was really very tiring for the team. And that was the initiation of that was the beginning of the end of, let's say, Team Hyderabad Hydras. From that point, Ash goes on with that UMP45. He tries to pressurize, and let's talk about the highlights also, because the highlights were amazing. The fights were amazing. So now let's go on to the highlights.
Well, if you audience missed anything of what happened overall, there you go. Glimpse of what happened in the very first map of semi-finales. Mavi, well, that's something that was not expected to happen. I would say the last surviving player, he managed to take one player down, but eventually was caught and was punished badly.
Well, of course, look at the battle which was coming up right now. If I talk about Team R Esports, they were also trying their real best. If I talk about Team Insane, well, they were picked off by the hands of Team Rivalry. Well, just like that, I said Team Rivalry Esports coming from the east angle, trying to decimate all the western teams which are coming up. And look at that, guys. Team OG Believe was the one to actually put one guy down from that spray. But other than that, he jumped down with that beautiful AKM shot. Just like that, he eliminated one more guy from Team Entity. And with that, Team Entity was also pressurized. When we talk about Team Mayavi, well, they were also getting punched out. Team OG, all the highlights are actually about OG. If we talk about the zone number 5, zone number 6 and zone number 7, because Team OG was the one which was trying to decimate Exo Panku, remaining the last man standing. He was also trying his level best to get that guns blazing fight into the perspective, but he was unable to do that just because he didn't have that HP. He was unable to heal himself, and that is why he was picked off from that point.
I mean, look at this moment. This moment changed everything. I mean, this moment just made us casters go completely mad. The way Ash approached this fight was completely out of. I just don't know what do I say. Lastly, the sides of Team Rivalry were even caught, and it was Ash once again to take the one player down from Rivalry, and eventually the last one as well. This is how the Group A and Group B showed their domination, I would say, in the very first map of Erangel.
Indeed, the domination was very, very amazing to watch, but other than that, all the fights were over. The victory is there into the hands of Team Orangutan Gaming, and Team Hyderabad Hydras tried their level best, but eventually they were actually picked off at #3, and then Team Rivalry Esports were chasing their dreams. But then after the heal battle was over, OG Ash comes up from the right angle, and just like that, he also puts him down. The start was there from the Milta Power, if I'm not wrong, and Team Reckoning also got to first of the finish from the lobby when they were in the vehicle, and Team UDOG Esports was the one to actually get tagged out from the first point.
I mean, I just I just got back into time and I realized that the flight path was completely eastern, the play zone was completely western. But out of nowhere, the sides of Team OG, I just don't know what they did in this map. How did they manage to? If you see, they had a greater advantage of zone. They just hold the zone so amazingly. Well, there you go. Orangutan, total of 19 finishes and one chicken dinner. That's a rank 1, a total of 34 points for themselves, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at the second position. Rivalry Esports with 6 finishes and a total of 18 for themselves. It's like a huge difference that these two teams have.
Of course, if I talk about Team Orangutan Gaming, well, they have got 19 frags as we earlier have discussed, but the total points is going to be 34. Well, that's really very amazing. That is going to provide them a huge bump onto the leaderboard. Other than that, Team Rivalry Esports getting 6 frags into their conversion, and the total number of points is going to be 18 just because they have got the #2 position, or let's say runner-up position. Hyderabad Hydras getting 4 frags into their courtyard and 10 points for the position. That is why they have got 14 points. UDOG Esports remaining at #4 with 4 frags and 12 points as total. And our Esports getting 10 points totally, Team EXO getting 7 points. Exopunku was the one which was last remaining, and we saw the highlight and how he was trying to actually defend himself, but eventually he was put down. Team Entity getting 5 points for themselves. Team Insane Esports, even after getting the ham in the initial few zones, they were actually taken down at hashtag 8 just because they were unable to actually put their position into the zone, and that is why they were picked up out of zone. So Insane Esports was with 5 points. Reckoning goes out with 5 points also. Team Mayavi goes out with 4 points only. OR Esports goes out with 4 points. Celsius goes out with 1 point. But the teams which has not secured even a single point are going to be Team X Park, Blind Esports, Team Revenant, and Revenge Esports. Well, Revenge Esports is going to be the first ever team to get eliminated from the lobby, but I guess all the other 3 teams, or let's say all the other teams coming from hashtag 5 or let's say hashtag 6 to hashtag 16 has to grind a lot in the next upcoming matches.
I somewhere can see the mark of 50 being crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, the way these teams are playing right now, it's about strategies. I do agree that the game of BGMI, the battlefield is completely about strategies. But right now, the performance that we witnessed in the very first map of Erangel just changed my perspective completely. And right now, I would say that these players are just going for the finishes. They are just going on for an hunt. They are not, just seeing that we don't have enough amount of loot or enough amount of utilities to work with. They are just going completely ham on their enemies. Well, the very first map of Erangel, ladies and gentlemen, is done and dusted, and we are gonna head ourselves towards the second map of Miramar, where you can see the sides of Team A and Team C performing.
Well, of course, the map of Miramar is going to be there right now. We have already discussed about the Group A teams which are actually going to play, but let's talk about the teams which are coming in the Group C. Well, let me tell you about the teams which are going to play in the Group number C right now. That's going to be Team Skylightz Gaming. Some new faces are going to be there in Group C. Skylightz Gaming, 8-bit is going to be there. Team Tactical Esports is going to shine. Marcos Gaming is going to be here. Team Forever, UDOG India, the qualified team, and Team Nugget, also the qualified team, is going to be here right now. Well, of course, the Group B is also going to be here, from which Team X Park is going to represent themselves. Hyderabad Hydras is going to be there. Reckoning Esports is going to be there. Old Hood is going to be there. Orangutan is going to be there. Team Blind and Revenge Esports is also going to fight it out. But as per the map schedule, look at that. We have Miramar coming up. Well, a map where you can see a lot of casualties coming up from the mid-range and the long-range fights. So that is why teams have to gain a lot of good scopes. Let's say 4x, 6x, and 8x, so that eventually some good sprays are there. Some good bolt action, DMR action could be there right now. So that's going to be very amazing to watch, that how teams actually play with the whole DMR action coming up.
Absolutely. Well, Raider, I just have one simple question for you. How do you feel when you start your day while playing the map of Miramar? I mean, Group C is gonna play their very first map, and that's not Erangel. That's the map Miramar for them. A huge map, a complete open map that they need to play on right now.
Well, of course, it is going to be a very open map, and if I talk about Group B, well, they already have played one good map, and they have already played with the good teams which are actually going to take that action into a perspective. But now the Group C is going to come in. Teams like Skylightz Gaming, 8-bit, Tactical, all the other teams which are actually in Group C are going to fight out with Group B right now. Well, that's going to be very amazing to watch, that how these teams actually engage and how these teams actually going to fight from this point. Because Miramar is a map where you can see a lot of open ridges fight, a lot of zone clashes, a lot of rotation clashes will be there. Slamming is going to be there right now, just because we don't have that much of compounds in map of Miramar. So of course it is going to be very amazing to watch. So let's see what eventually happens. Let's hope that these fights are going to be very amazing for us to watch.
I guess you forgot one thing. I guess you forgot the mishaps happening with vehicle. And the main point I would say right now, when you are into a rotation, when you are into a serious rotation, and out of nowhere your vehicle falls down that twitches, and that's out of nowhere the vehicle just falls down, and you have nothing you can do, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I would say, it's not about that I don't like about Miramar, but something that really scares me, that while I'm playing, what if I fall down? What if something wrong happens? I'm eventually gonna lose one of my player, and that's gonna be really difficult for me to tackle at the end of the day, at the last zones of the fight, because right, Miramar fights are completely either a complete open area fight that you need to fight among, a complete ridge game being played, or maybe completely a mid-range fight. the actions of DMR, yes, we will be witnessing. But what's more interesting, or what I want to happen, is some sniper actions
Of course.
that's been missing since a long time, I would say.
Well, of course, sniper action could be there right now, but at this moment, all the teams are going for that aggressive end. They're actually, when you play a sniper game, na, then eventually, if you get a knockout, if you get a defeat, then also you can't get that finish into your courtyard eventually if you don't push in. So that is why getting a knockout will be there with the sniper, but then the teams have to push in to get that finish into their courtyard, into their backpack. Well, that's going to be very interesting to watch that how teams are going to push in, from which flanks they are going to push in, which is going to be the scouter, or let's say which is going to be the flanker, which is going to provide support, which team is going to play how, and that is going to be very amazing to watch, because this is going to be the start of semi-finale. The first ever map of Miramar is going to be played very, very soon. It is actually going to be very, very exciting, just like the map of Erangel also.
I really don't wish to talk about Erangel anymore. I mean, I just fall out of words when you talk about what happened in Erangel. I wanted it to be a really aggressive map, but it went too far from aggressive. It just went on like a complete domination. A team that just woke up and decided to choose violence. It just went in this way today. I mean, I don't know. Team Orangutan, well, they really did good on the map of Erangel. Miramar, I will really be missing them on the map of Miramar, as we have group A and C performing right now. But what's more interesting is if group A and B on the map of Erangel looks so crazy, what's gonna happen in the map of Miramar? I would really love to ask you, what are your prediction regarding the map of Miramar?
Well, before that, let's seriously dive into the flight path which is going to come up right now. Look at that. A diagonal flight path is there right now from the north-western corner, which is actually going to start from La Cobreria, and it is going to end towards the area of Puerto Paraíso, and it is going to end towards the area of southeast corner. And look at that, guys. We have already teams jumping up. 6 to 7 teams have already jumped right now, and all the other remaining teams are trying to find their gap right now. But I guess, Darshita, this is a diagonal flight path, so that is why teams have a preferred drop location, and they can easily reach out to their preferred location, because that's not going to be that far to reach.
I mean, yes, the fly path right now seems to be really at a peace. Players will get a great chance to, great opportunity to go to their primary drop location. But play zone, the gods of PUBG. What's plays? Okay, look at that. Saint Martin, one player already down to the ground. I mean.
Oh.
What's going on there? What's going on? I am really keen. Please show me on what's going on there. The very first play zone is already onto your screens there. Lost Leonis La Bendita. Power Grid Picardo going on to the very first path, but there you go, first pick done and dusted. And this is something I like the most about Miramar. Sometimes you see so many drop clashes happening in initial fights, pistol fights, I would say, shotgun fights. That's something important. But Raider, on the other hand, when you talk about the sides of Los Leones as well, you can see some great fights happening in any moment.
Well, of course, we have close to 4 to 5 teams which are going to fight out at that angle. Chumasera is also going to be very contested. But if I talk about teams coming up in the area of San Martin, well, we have, I guess, team number 10, which is going to fight with team Celsius. And Celsius was the one which actually got the first ever flag into their courtyard. So that was actually amazing. This is El Pozo, if I'm not wrong, which is getting the fight. So yeah, El Pozo is actually getting contested by 2 other teams. So let's see what eventually happens for the teams right now. That's going to be Team Insane, okay? From the start, they are getting tags. From the start, they're going for the finishers right now. And if I'm not wrong, that's going to be Team Skylightz Gaming with the fight. And there we go, Skylightz Gaming going for the fight, and Neo goes on by the hands of Ronak. And with that, we have the opening. Team Enigma, look at that. Team Enigma, Saggy, remaining last man standing of his team. Team Celsius, just like the Predators, they are trying to find the prey.
I mean, the initial fights, they are difficult. 16 teams with 61 alive players. This directly means that we do have lost 1 or 2 players somewhere into this lobby. The sides of Team Celsius right now. Okay, I'm not talking about Celsius, as we have one fight going on there. Skylightz Gaming, Team Insane somewhere nearby. Well, yes, they have been caught. Both of the sides are getting way too damaged, I would say. 2 players down to the ground. That's going to be Ronak and Pukar there. Well, revival is being provided by Gamla Boy. Ronak, well, yes, he is being brought back to life, and so goes to the sides of Pukar as well. On the other hand, the sides of Team Celsius eventually getting into a fight. That's multiple fights happening onto your screens in the second map of Miramar.
Of course, it is a very open map, so that is why we have a lot of drop contestment coming up right now. Teams are trying to go for the drop locations, but still they're getting contested. And look at that, Enigma Saggy playing it really very calmly, playing it really very safe at this point. He's not even moving a muscle. And Team Celsius is very very, let's say, confident at this point that they can get the frag, they can get the squad clutch coming up into their perspective. But if we talk about Team Insane, well, after losing Mac, now Team Insane is going on the backdrop areas. They are trying to play very pacifistically, and Sayam is still here right now. If I'm not wrong, that's gonna be Neo, which is actually still again going to survive. SG Ronak was the one who actually flanked out and gave a good defeat to the guy. But other than that, now Team Insane is actually very very strategized and they are trying to play very safe. But now, if I'm not wrong, Team Nugget actually manages to put one more guy down from Team Rivalry.
Well, yes, they did manage to. On the other hand, Team Skylightz Gaming, well, they right now know what position Team Insane is holding. You can see, right, some sprays going, some ADS scoped onto their ways. Even if one single movement from the sides of Team Insane can eventually get them into a lot more of difficulties. But there you go, Gamla Boy has to depart Team Insane. But on the other hand, instantly Adi will be traded. That's 1 is equals to 1 calculation going on. One player down, though second one eventually goes down. Sayam is being caught, his location is being revealed, was trying to take, Skylightz was trying to take him down, but eventually couldn't, just manage to connect those sprays.
Well, Darshita, that's a great thing that they managed to put one more guy down from Team Insane, because if that doesn't happen, Team Insane could have pushed him from all the other angles and they might have been encircled by Team Insane right now. And at this moment, SG Gamla Boy is still knocked out. I guess the revival is going to be possible, but there we go. Insane Sayam goes in with the micro Uzi, and just like that, this fight is actually with the equalizer. A 3v3 battle is going to come up into the area of El Pozo and Team Insane versus Team Skylightz Gaming. Well, we have Gamla Boy out of equation, we have Insane Mac out of equation, and now these three guys are going to fight it out.
With a 4v4 coming to a 3v3. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. Sayam is a bit away, I would say, from his team. Not too far, but yet a bit far away. On the other hand, right now we do have the sides of team. So, oh my god, I just don't know what's exactly gonna happen. We do have multiple clashes happening all around, Raider.
Well, of course, a lot of clashes are going to be there right now. Team Insane is still handling the fights right now. If I talk about Team X, so we have Sensei, the IGL, Panku, the Assaulters, Sananana, that is going to be Snacks if I'm not wrong. Other than that, we also have Fierce in the scene, which is trying to retaliate. But let's see how the fights are going to be there right now. Let's see how the clashes are going to be. Let's see how the gun game is going to be at that point. But now look at that. All the other teams are trying to play very, very safe. And if I talk about the area of El Pozo, well, we have Team Skylightz Gaming on the left angle and on the right angle if I'm not wrong. And other than that, Team Insane is actually playing very, very safe. If I talk about Team Exo, well, they are also trying to loot the area of Los Angeles if I'm not wrong. But other than that, guys, if you want to see that how the teams are going to engage, if you want to see how the teams are going to fight after the third match, well, you have to switch to Loco also. So be actually aware about that situation.
Well, yes, go to Play Store and download Loco if you haven't, as the last 3 maps are going to be broadcasted only on Loco. So make sure you don't miss out the amazing actions happening all over. Right now, Raider, the fights are at a peace. Like all the engagements that were happening a while ago are just at a peace, and no one wants to get into fight. All of them know that right now this is the map of Miramar, and even one wrong step can just cause you a lot more. On the other hand, when you talk about the sides of other teams, you just find them completely going all their hands towards the loot. Nothing more than that. No violence, no fights, nothing. It's just completely about the loot that they are looking forward to. And after that, once you just got your vehicles, there you go. As you can see onto your screens, once you got your vehicles, you'll be going in for some rotations. But is it a rotation or a fight that I am having my eyes on?
Well, they are trying to rotate, but at this point, Team 5 could easily actually punch them right now. Team Rivalry could actually point out. But if I talk about this team right now, look at that. We have the team which is trying to fight it out. We have Evo Italy, only Rocks, and if I talk about QOP is also going to be here right now. So let's see how the casualties are going to begin from this point. But other than that, team number 3 is playing really very sad. But Team Revenant comes up with a push, and there we go. Evo Italy is trying to manage the fight. He's trying to let his player escape from the point, and there we go. I guess Evo Italy is also trying to flank out from the point, but might be a clash coming up, might be a fight coming up. I don't know what these teams are trying to engage. But Darshita, in the map of Miramar, we are going to see a lot of third parties from this point.
Well, the map of Miramar is eventually, I would say famous for third parties, because we do know, right? Even these heights, these ridges give you a great opportunity to go in for a third party and eliminate 2 of the teams fighting and trying to survive there. Yuva OP on the other hand, well, you can see them just scouting for more and more information, and I guess that's the best decision that you can take before engaging into any kinds of fight. You know how which important information is. If you are really running low on information, I guess tackling the fight and just making it work into your favor gets really very difficult. The first zone, well, yes, crumbling inside, players are trying to go in for some rotations, and right now I guess for next 3 or 4 minutes, Raider, things will be more at a peace.
Well, of course, there could be a piece at this moment, but other than that, we have zone clashes coming up. I guess that is going to be the rotational clashes. Look at that. In Hacienda, we have one guy which is actually going to be from Team 14, if I'm not wrong. So that is going to be Team Entity. There could be Team Entity from that angle. Other than that, if I talk about teams like, let's say, team number 8, well, they are on the backdrop areas. If I talk about Team EXO, well, they are getting contested by Team Rivalry. Well, MVP is just making aware that they are there right now, so don't push onto them, and that is the thing which is actually going to be very, very amazing to watch. And if I talk about Rivalries, this guy, he is also playing along the ridges, along the fights which are going to be here. So I guess there could be a casualty coming up, but now the teams are at peace, of course. So I guess the action will be beginning after the zone clashes are there, after the rotational clashes are there right now. But now all the other teams are trying to find a good location where they can actually just chill out and strategize their plans for the upcoming fights, and let's say just piece out all the other things which are being in the map.
I guess Raider, you need to bite back your words. You look at Sensei, right? You look at Sensei. He is all set and going in to gather more and more information, and he do has a backup. You look around, you see his teams, his team members just roaming around, and once right, the way Team EXO performs, the moment they are up with all the information, they just go gun blazing towards their enemies, and that's why I just said that. I guess you need to bite back your words.
Yeah, of course, there could be a casualty coming up right now. There could be a fight coming up from this angle, but still we have all the other 16 teams coming up in the fight. That's great. 16 teams are left. 58 players are still alive in the lobby, and that is actually a very good thing for the teams and for the fights, for the healthy fights which are going to be there in the 5th or 6th zones. So that is going to be amazing. But if I talk about Enigma, okay, that was Enigma Sagi, which was the last man standing of his team. Team Celsius just went ham onto him, and just like that, his team was obliterated. LG2OP, Rex, and Avi was picked up from that angle, and now Team Enigma's first ever match in the Grand Slam semi-finale is not going as expected.
I mean, I do agree. I do agree with that. Like, he's the last surviving player, and I just know that he has all his eyes set on that vehicle. The moment he gets that vehicle, he's just gonna, run around for the zone, as it's just really very important. On the other hand, when you talk about the sides of Team Insane, well, yes, they lost one of their players, and the previous map of Erangel was not too good, I would say, for them. It was not too good or not into their favors. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to work out. So yep, they will be looking forward to some more frags, or I would say to just taking some more players down, and there you can see the survival things going on. Team Insane lost their one players, Team SG, Team Rivalry lost one of their players, but Team Enigma, they lost 3 of their players onto the fight with Celsius.
Well, Enigma is looking like Team Revenge from the last map, but let's see what Enigma does right now and how they are going to bounce back, because they have managed to survive for the second zone. But now let's see what eventually happens. And Team UDOG India is getting pasted out with Team 8-bit right now, and finally Team 8-bit is trying to engage. And look at that, Team UDOG India, Zark has been picked off. Now Dave is going for the revival. That's great, but I guess there we go. DMR action has been beginning, Darshita.
Yes, it's gonna be UDOG and Team Tactical. Interesting fight, right? Interesting fight to see of what exactly is gonna happen. One qualified team, one invited team, and let's see who survives. On the other hand, the sides of Team 8-bit are looking really hungry for information, trying to gather as much as they can. And that's that this is the only reason that I said that the map of Miramar is just gonna change thing around. We saw the aggression that the map of Erangel holded, but right now when you see the map of Miramar, it's just completely opposite. You see no actions happening. We saw that breaking at the initial 4 or 5 minutes, but after that everything went into a pace. Everything was completely smooth, but not for a long period of time, I would say. There you go, once again, one more fight. Well, I just don't know what exactly is going to happen. The vehicle was caught. Tronak tried to take players down once again with that grenade. Will he be able to take any kind of connections? Well, I doubt he was able to take any player down. On the other hand, I would say it's going to be the sides of Team Celsius, who already had a great initial fight with the sides of Team Insane and got 3 for themselves.
Well, of course, at this point, Team SG is actually undermanned right now. But other than that, Team Celsius is also trying to play it very, very safe. Apollo is actually trying to climb a very good ridge. From that angle, he could just decimate Team Skylightz Gaming. But there we go. If I talk about decimation, look at that team. Revenant Austin Vortex managed to put 2 guys down from Team Nugget with a blow. And I guess that was a vehicle burst which actually went in the lobby. But now Team Revenant, well, after that sharp 1v2, well, that was actually very, very amazing. And now Team EXO also getting decimated. Look at that. Team Skylightz Gaming losing one good guy. Team Insane losing one good guy, Team Rivalry losing one guy, and Team Nugget also losing 2 good guys of their team right now. Well, that is going to be very, very amazing to watch. And now EXO also loses 1 more guy from their team. Well, that's really very sad for the team. But Team EXO and Rivalry, well, I guess these both giants are actually trying to fight it out. Look at that. Team Rivalry's last man standing is going to be here right now. He's trying to provide more info race, but Panku is going to retaliate, if I'm not wrong, and there could be a good retaliation coming up. Look at that single tap shot coming up. Panku being damaged really very sharply. I guess the retaliation is going to be very, very hefty for him.
I mean, they are just Ponko is just trying his level best to take the last surviving player down there. You know, right? 2 players are already down to the ground, but Team EXO has lost only 1 of their players. That's gonna be fierce. But on the other hand, when you talk about the sides of Team Rivalry, there you go. 1 player was down. Well, he has been finished completely. But I'm just not able to see the other players. Where are the other players of the sides of Team EXO? Are they covering any other angles, or are they just trying to go to a different angle and completely eliminate Team Rivalry? Well, there you can see the sides of Team Rivalry. Well, he's the last surviving player, and the helmet is just completely off. Even 1 bullet touching, that's done for him.
Well, of course, eventually 1 bullet will connect to his head, and right now he will just go down. He will just get defeated by the fight right now. But other than that, Team EXO is looking sharp right now. Snacks is trying to find more angles. If I talk about Sensei, he's going to scout more points and get closure, and then there could be a fight coming up. But if I talk about Snacks, look at that. He's trying to find more and more good angles, and there we go. I guess he finds one and just like that, Team Rivalry has been decimated once again. In the last match, they managed to got the 2nd position, but in this match, they have been picked off really very early. And this becomes the first ever squad to get eliminated in the map of Miramar.
I mean, yes, I just was having a second thought of where Team EXO players are, and they just came out of a surprise and showed, here we are. You asked for us, here we are. With 3 finishes, we do have the sides of Team EXO. On the other hand, when you talk about the sides of Team Entity, there multiple fights. Kennery is being caught. Oh no! Did he just... Oh my god, he was trying to escape the enemies there, but eventually just went down due to jumping off the vehicle. Hero is being caught at the same time. Entity Shadow just utilizing the height advantages he has right now.
Well, if it comes to the fights like Picardo's area, but then these kind of things happens, and there we go. Celsius Max actually manages to get 1 more guy down right now with this Team Reckoning, or should I say Team R Esports is actually getting decimated. Team Tactical on the other hand is getting hammed from Team Entity also. Picardo's, this 5-story building is actually going to provide you with a very good angle, and that is why, look at that spray coming up, look at that damage being dealt right now. Tactical Hitman, very undermined player at this point, but he could be picked off from that angle. There we go. I guess Tactical's 1 more guy is going to go down, and with this, Team Tactical is actually undermined. And now Team Entity has finally got their initial frag out, and just like that, they are trying to find more and more angles. Troy is going to be that guy, and there we go. That is why he is trying to eliminate more and more perspectives, but he was unable to do that kind of amazing stuff. Now I guess Troy is at a very vulnerable position, because there could be higher ridges from this point, and there could be elimination for Troy.
Well, yes, definitely that can be the case, but onto the perspectives of Team Enigma and Celsius there, I'm just waiting for what is gonna happen. You see the sides of Team Celsius holding a really great height advantage, but on the other hand, Shaggy is the last surviving player, I would say. Oh, okay. Over Aditya going down, over Vexy going down due to a vehicle blast. Oh my god, I guess this is the only reason why I do not trust the stability of vehicles in the map of Miramar. You just get caught so bad that you're not just able to tackle the situation, and that's not for the first time. Raider, we saw players going down due to a vehicle blast. In this only specific map, we have seen this happening multiple times.
Even before the beginning of this map, you already told that the vehicles in this map are going to be very unstable, and that's what happened. They were picked off really very let's say it directly at this point. Other than that, if I talk about Team Insane, well, they are trying to find more and more gaps. They have got one frag out, that's great. But now they are setting their sights on Team 16 and they're just trying to eliminate them from this point. And look at that, Team 16 also getting harmed from the other perspectives. If I talk about Team Celsius, well, they are also trying to engage. Siam has been picked up at that point. And that's Team Forever, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Team Forever is trying to find it out. Nexus is trying to come up on the angle. But now Team Revenant, also from the back foot areas, are trying to eliminate more and more. And this is the third party which I was talking about.
Well, definitely. Insane Neo there will be trying to just hold a soft cover, but I'm just not sure of what exactly is going to happen. Adi with that grenade will be taking one player down, and right now it's going to be a 2v2 fight happening. Adi will be taking OS both down as well. Well, Nexus needs to be really very careful about the position that Neo is holding, and you know, right, UMP can be a beast into a close range. There you go, one more player down to the ground. Team Insane getting good amount of finishes for themselves. It's going to be 3 for them, but losing 2 players getting 3 finishes is not definitely a good deal that you are being looking forward to.
Well, of course, you have to maintain that synergy, you have to maintain that manpower eventually, because that comes into the consideration for the last zone fight. And there we go, I guess one more guy goes down. Adi can be picked up from this point. They have got the 3 flags, but now Maskesh could be the one to actually get the Team Insane out of the lobby. But at this point, Team Insane Neo is also trying to analyze the fight, and he's one of those great assaulters from the Indian great community that he could actually possibly eliminate him out on. And look at that, guys, Maskesh is on the back foot, getting tagged out from Team Revenant also, if I'm not wrong, and that is why Team Insane is actually very, very safe at this point, and they could easily go for the revival. But I guess Mashkas comes up with the fight right now, and Mashkas actually eliminated one more guy. Mashkas is very late, and with that, Team Forever goes down. Team Insane, after losing 3 good players of their team, finally manages to get 4 frags.
Well, they do manage to get 4 frags for themselves there. On the other hand, when you talk about some 8-bit madman going down due to vehicle 1, oh my god, I just am not able to explain how am I feeling of these vehicles blast happening, of just people going down because of vehicle, these players going down. I just am falling out of words right now what exactly is happening. Celsius Dreams with that grenade will take 1 player down. A good grenade, one more good grenade can really things change apart. SG Pukar there will be taking Celsius Apollo down. Play zone, Yuva OP has to go down because of play zone there, and their only rocks will be managing to take take damages and not players down there. He managed to take some damage on the sides of Team Nugget there, and there you go, 1 player is being caught, will be punished bad. The second player is running really low on HP. RNT Paradox on the other hand, grenade, that just was 1 second different. If 1 second beforehand the grenade was being cooked, it could be done and dusted for them as well.
Well, of course, that could be a very, very great casualty for the team right now. Other than that, if I talk about Team UDOG India, well, they are also trying to let's say survive a lot. Other than that, we have Cells Radiant, Evo Italy, and only Rogues trying to fight it out. But if we talk about Top Dog, well, they are getting more and more frags from Team Nugget, if I'm not wrong, and they have managed to get 5 amazing finishes. Well, that's great. But well, Darshita, this is the fight which is going to be into the area of Pecado. Well, it is a very great compounded area where the fights are going to be there. But Snacks, look at Snacks right now. He's trying to be pacifistic and he's trying to actually get the perspective. He manages to put one down right now, and there we go, another 1v1 comes up, and just like that, Snacks was able to put him down. But tactical clutch, lying on the belly, was managed to actually get Snacks out of the equation, and just like that, Team Exo goes down with the blow.
I mean, the players were just waiting. They knew, right? The fight is happening and 1 player will aggress. They were just waiting for that aggression to come, and as Snacks decided to go forward, they made sure to take him off completely. Well, Miramar is just all about third parties. It's just completely about the third parties. And let's just look at this quick bird eye view there. You can see 3 to 4 teams completely into one building there, and their Celsius Dreams. Well, Paradox is down to the ground. Dreams with that grenade will try to eliminate him off completely, say a complete goodbye, but that grenade is not going to get any good connection. The zone is not going to support any of these players, is not going to go into any of them into their favors right now. It's just completely into an opposite directions. Right now I need to see how these players who have been holding a greater height advantage manages to migrate towards the zone.
Well, of course, they have been the highlight of these fights right now. Look at that team. Entity is trying to just jump over the compounds and they're just trying to be in the safeguard areas. But I guess that is going to be a very tiring task for them. Other than if I talk about Entity, Troy, well, he's trying to find more and more gaps. They could be picked up from that angle. Look at that. Troy is still on that rooftop. Top Dog also goes down with a brutal blow. And just like that, team Revenant also goes down. And if I talk about Dave, look at that. He is trying to cook more and more smoke so that eventually there could be a passive path for him that eventually he could just climb down and maybe get a good positioning in the zone right now. I guess he is in the zone. He's in the corners. That's great for him because now he could easily pick more and more people, just like Team Entity, just like Team Celsius. Other than that, we have all the other teams that are trying to retaliate. That's gonna be Team 13 trying to fight it out, and there we go. Team Entity still remaining in the fight, still actually trying to find that angle. Team Tactical meanwhile is pressurizing Team 8-bit. Well, we have not seen 8-bit yet fighting Darshita, I guess.
I mean, yes, I just saw, grenades popping off from their side. But there you go, SG Pukar. Well, he'll manage to take one player down and Team Entity just trying to take the kill into their accounts. Well, okay, Troy did that. Troy did that amazingly. He managed to take that finish and just registered it into his account. 8-bit on the other hands with 2 finishes, as I was, just mentioning. Raider, they just chucked off players with some amazing grenades. Their tactical hitman will be will be hitting 1 grenade amazingly. One player has to depart from the sides of Team 8-bit as well. Team Celsius just completely blocking the visions of the enemies to make their way to migrate towards the zone, and that's going to be a really, really important part. But ladies and gentlemen, right, done with 24 minutes of the second map of Erangel, and we still have 7 teams and 19 alive players. Okay, make it 18 as one player has to go down to the ground. Troy, that grenade was amazing. With that molly, once again, he'll be trying to take confirmations of the finishes there. One more grenade. Amazing! Oh my god! Troy, that was so amazing to witness. Team 8-bit being completely eliminated by some grenades. It just was so amazing. Entity Troy just utilizing his height advantage so amazingly.
Well, of course, height advantage is one of those things which you have to get into the terms of fights right now, and that is what Entity Troy is trying to do. Look at the number of finishes which he has got for the team. Look at the number of eliminations which he has actually created in the lobby. But now Team UDOG India is actually trying to decipher with the fights right now, and the team is trying to actually retaliate. That is going to be Team Skylightz Gaming. Look at the nade coming up. Look at that. He constantly just threw the nade and then put that spray into the perspective so that eventually by that nade's panic nation, he would actually rotate and then the fight could be there. Entity Noob once again manages to spot one more guy, but actually Dreams was the one to actually manages to survive from the fight, and that's great. But Team Celsius getting pacified from the punches right now. Look at that. Look at the hold coming up.
I mean, Troy, what are you exactly up to? One more grenade from Troy will manage to take one player down. Celsius Vixie will be going in for a great aggression, takes one player down. Troy goes forward. Celsius Dreams. Oh, okay, he took one more player down. Vixie will be eliminated. Entity Troy, man oh man, you beauty. He eliminated the sides of Team Celsius completely with 11 finishes. We do have the sides of Team Entity. I mean, what is Troy exactly up to? First, he made sure to utilize the height advantage that he had, and right now he is just going all gun blazing towards his enemies. Right now we do have 4 teams surviving with 10 alive players, and I really want our audience to guess of who is gonna get this chicken dinner. Play zone. Oh, you have to respect your play zone, or else you have to go down to your knees, and that's what exactly is happening with the sides of Team Entity right now. A chicken dinner that they can get is just running away because of play zone, and I guess Team Entity Troy is the last surviving player. Tactical Hitman on the other hand takes Pukar down with some predictable sprays, and okay, that was 2 players down, and Ronak is the last surviving player, barely surviving there down.
Well, of course, look at that. We have Team Tactical getting that frags into the perspective, and Team Skylightz Gaming just like that has been taken down. Meanwhile, if I talk about Team Entity, well, they are trying to manage. Troy is trying to manage the heal battle so that eventually he could get the position points. He could get the hashtag 2 point at this moment. Look at that. He has got 7 more first aid kits into his backpack, and he could easily secure those position points. And there we go. I guess Team UDOG India might have spotted him out, but he is still actually trying to remain in the fight right now. Rambo is there from Team UDOG India, and the other guy that is going to be Kishu is still remaining in the UDOG India's courtyard, or let's say roster. Other than that, if I talk about Team Tactical, well, they are holding the gas station very, very well. Look at that 3 perspective coming up. With that, Entity Troy also goes down, and now the battle is between Team Tactical and Team UDOG India, and this is a 2v3 battle coming up. Nades have been cooked, mollies have been dealt right now. Other than that, they are trying to blind the perspective with the smoke, but still, guys, is it going to be effective for Team UDOG India, because they are undermined. They have a good chunk of zone, they have a good perspective, but now Team Tactical can actually turn the tables.
Well, they can turn tables around. It's going to be a 2v3 fight that's going to happen here. Team UDOG, well, they are running low on their players. But if you got that momentum, if you got that confidence, you can, definitely make this fight work into your favor. UDOG Kishu, well, his location is being compromised there. And right now, either he needs to... Okay, he doesn't get the chance to relocate himself or call for a backup. And right now, Rambo is the last surviving player. Manages to take one player down. Hitman, well, his location has been revealed. Has to deal a lot more of damage as Rambo is being caught his location. That's done. That's done and dusted. That's done and dusted. And there you go. Winner, chicken dinner for Team Tactical on the second map of AMD SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM.
Well, that's the winner chicken dinner into the favor of Team Tactical. They were holding that very, very good L-shaped building in the Picardo, and that is why they managed to get those more points, and that was really very amazing that how they actually performed, how they outperformed all the other teams such as Team Entity, such as let's talk about UDOG India, which was the runner-up of this match. Well, they were also trying to patch it out. Initially, they was picked up by the hands of Entity Troy from that building of Casino, and then Team UDOG India was pressurized. After that, UDOG India was able to defend themselves from Team Skylightz Gaming pushing from the Casino, pushing from the industry area, and that was really very amazing to watch. But other than that, teams like let's say EXO was very, very tagged out from the initiations. Team Rivalry goes on in the front foot fights. Other than that, we had all the other teams which are trying to retaliate. Team Celsius and other teams which are in the zone, they were trying their real best, but eventually Team Tactical was the one to get that victory into their perspective.
Well, they did it really amazing, I would say. It was a 2v3 situation, and when you are really running low on manpower, I guess waiting back and being passive is the only option you have. Right now, Raider, I do really, feel sad for the sides of Team Entity. 11 to 12 finishes, and mainly the last surviving guy there, Troy, who not just took players down with that grenade, but eventually completely eliminated the sides of Team Celsius as well. And at the last, he was the last surviving player, but as I say, you have to pay respect to the play zone, or it's gonna play really bad with you, and that's what exactly happened. Going down because of play zone certainly hurt somewhere, but eventually this guy didn't have any other option to run around for.
Well, of course, it was very, very amazing to watch that how Troy actually decimated the whole lobby. He was onto a very high ridge area, and then he actually tried to decimate the whole area of Picardo. He tried to pick more and more frags from that point. He was really very good at that point, but let's talk about the highlights which are going to come up from this angle. And there we go. Team EXO, Sananana, that means Snacks was able to pick one guy down from Team Rivalry. After that, Team Celsius went on ham right now. And look at that. Team Entity from this point was trying to reckon more and more fights right now. This is the 4th zone fight which is coming up. Team Revenant also trying to decimate Team OR. Look at that fight coming up. Team OR Esports was also picked up really very early in the fight, but then Team Insane and Team Forever comes up in the fight. Sayam was picked off, Adi was knocked out, and then eventually Neo manages to put a Mascus also down, and with that I guess the fight was over between Team Insane and Team Mascus. But it was a very long fight, should I say, and Team Insane's Adi and the other guy which was known as Sayam was also picked off into that fight.
Well, yes, definitely. I would say Maxkish, tried to eliminate one player, but eventually ended up completely finishing the knock player, and that's where Maxkish just lost the fight. Insane Neo was the last surviving player, and somehow he managed to just completely eliminate him there and just go. But there you see RE Rockstar there. He just blasted himself with that grenade. 8-bit madman just went down with that vehicle thing himself. We saw a lot of mishaps happening in the map of Miramar, and we eventually don't see this happening in any other map. I guess that's I always say that you don't trust the stability of vehicles in the map of Miramar, as the ridges play a really bad game here. On the other hand, when you talk more about the fights there, Pokar was going ham with that grenades, but eventually Yuva OP was down to the ground, and there's where things started changing. Eventually you lose one player, you lose 2 of your players, everything gets changed, and the fight that is eventually into your favor just falls off like dominoes.
Of course, that was really very amazing to watch that how the teams were trying to initiate, and this was the fight which we are talking about. But if I talk about the guy only Rogues and his teammates, well, let me remind you guys, this is Team Marcos Gaming, so that's it. Marcos Gaming was fighting at that point, and there we go. Marcos Gaming was trying to pressurize on Team Exo, but then finally Snacks comes up with the fight right now. He actually went on to do a 1v1, and that was really brilliant. But then Team Tactical was the one to actually get down. A Tactical Clutch, if I'm not wrong, that was the player name, who actually was lying onto his belly, and he actually tried to decimate. And with that, Team Entity Troy's decimation comes up, and look at that. Team 8-bit goes out with that beautiful nade, and that another nade is going to be there. And with that, look at that, guys. The blow was there. Team 8-bit just like that went out of the lobby. They were blown into the bits, and just like that, they were picked off. Now Team SG, they were also trying their level best to actually get more and more elimination, but when Team Celsius pushed in, they managed to get one knockout. But if I talk about Troy, look at that. He easily just like that did a 1v2.
I mean, this is the moment you really don't want to wish. The way the way this teams have approached this fight was completely out of the world. Hitman, their tactical Hitman took one player down, and then they took the second one down as well. Tactical Kid, well, he just went further for a complete aggression towards the last surviving player of UDOG, and that's done. That's done for the team there. And Tactical Esports somehow managed to take the winner chicken dinner of the second map of Miramar, I would say.
Yeah, of course, it was very amazing to watch that how the teams were effectively fighting into the battle right now. But I guess the upcoming fight is going to be very amazing. The upcoming fight is going to be very amazing. And let's talk about the group schedule, which is going to be there right now. So the upcoming battle is going to be into the favor of, let's say, Group B into C. These are the groups which are going to fight. So, of course, Team X-Pac will be there. Hyderabad Hydras is going to be there. Reckoning Esports is going to be there. UDOG Esports is going to be there. Orangutan, Blind is going to be there. Meanwhile, Revenge Esports and Team Mayavi, which were qualified from the quarter finale, are going to show their good faces for the fight. Other than that, if I talk about Group C, well, of course, you have seen Group C right now just yet. In the last match, that was Skylightz Gaming, 8-bit, blown into the bits by the hands of Troy. If you guys remember, Team Tactical Esports fighting it out, getting that winner chicken dinner. That was amazing. Enigma Gaming also trying to fight it out, but Enigma Gaming was picked out really very bitterly by the hands of Team Celsius. If you guys remember, the first ever, let's say, 1v3 done by Team Celsius, that was really very amazing in the lobby. Team Marcos Gaming again going to fight it out with the, let's say, roster of Only Rocks and the other members which are going to fight it out. Team Forever also with Mashkes and the other teammates. UDOG India also coming up in the runner-up in the last match, now going to fight it out in the map of Erangel, if I'm not wrong. And then Team Nugget is also going to show their good faces for the fight.
Well, Raider, I am really set. I'm really excited to watch the upcoming map of Erangel. And guess why? We saw the first map of Erangel. It was Team Orangutan going in for a complete domination. We saw the second map of Miramar. It was Team Entity going in for a complete domination. But right now in the upcoming map of Erangel, we are going to have both of these teams performing. We are going to have Team Orangutan and Team Entity. What's going to happen? I mean, I just have so many questions.
Well, I guess the best of the teams are going to win right now at this point. The fights are going to be very, very amplified. The game is going to be very, very amplified. So that is going to be very, very amazing to watch. So let's see what eventually happens to them. Let's see how the guys' fights are going to be. Let's see what eventually comes up in the next battle, because the map of Erangel is going to be there. Group B into C is going to fight right now. We are going to miss Group A, of course. But still, let's see Group B into C, what is going to be the casualty, and let's see how the first zone clashes are going to be. Are there going to be major casualties in the first zone, or let's say major casualties of some good squads getting eliminated in the first zone? That is going to be the major concern to watch, actually.
I mean, this time I do predict that we are going to have initial fights happening. I mean, yeah, I know. We, eventually saw two maps happening, and that's the reason I do say that we are going to have initial fights happening. But I guess this is what it is, right? This is what it is. We just saw players going down. It's just like they are just dropping down and going in for a fight, not looking anywhere. They're just going and hunting in for players, and as many players as they are finding, they're just going ham over them. And that's exactly what the map 1 of Erangel and map 2 of Miramar went like. But right now, what's done is done.
Yeah.
What we have next is what matters the most right now. You
course.
see, right? We saw so many teams performing so amazingly. But talking about the teams that were not really able to perform in the very first and the second map of Erangel and Miramar, I would really say that you guys do have a chance. Like you have numerous chance left behind right now, because we know the schedule, right? We know it's gonna be Erangel, Miramar thrice a day.
Well, of course, Erangel, Miramar thrice a day. Eventually, we have 20 maps, 20 matches for each and every team, each and every group. So, of course, it is going to be very amazing. You have 20 matches. Of course, you are going to lose one more match into the perspective. But then, only top 10 teams are going to qualify for the grand finale, where we and all the other qualified teams are going to meet some other teams such as The winner of previous Grand Slam, that is going to be Team VLT, formerly known as Team AMD, and the runner-up Team Seoul. Team number top 2 teams from the championship 3.0 is also going to be there right now. For example, Godlike and 7C Esports. It is just a quick reminder for all of those guys which are actually expecting Seoul, Godlike to be invited into the perspective right now. Well, they are invited just because they have been actually showing their worth. They have been actually showing the perspective. They have been the runner-up, or should I say the winner of the last previous tournaments by SKYESPORTS. That is why they have been invited into the grand finale. So we are going to witness them also. But before that, we are going to see for 5 straight days, 6 matches particularly each days. That is going to be very amazing. This is going to be the semi-finale.
Well, yes, this is just the start of semi-finale.
Yeah.
This is just the start. The day 1 is looking so amazing, and there you go. The overall rankings after match 2 is all set onto your screens. Team Orangutan, well, they are not going down. They are still holding back the very first position with just 1 match played. Raider, 1 match played. They got a total of 34 for themselves. And on the second positions, we do have Team Entity with 2 matches played and a total of 26 for themselves.
Well, that is a very great start for them right now. Team Orangutan Gaming actually getting the highest point at this moment. But if we talk about teams coming from hashtag 9 to hashtag 16, well, it is really very sad to watch Team Enigma with only 4 points at this moment. They have got the rank points if I'm not wrong. And other than that, positioning points they have got. Other than that, if we talk about Team Forever, well, they have got 5 points only. Team Reckoning also with 5 points at hashtag 14. But UDOG Esports is still very close to getting first page for perspective for them. UDOG Esports with 12 points as great. Skylightz Gaming played only 1 match. They've got 12 points for themselves. They got 2, if I'm not wrong, hashtag 4th position. Esports played 2 matches, still they have got only 10 points. Insane Esports 2 matches, still they've got only 10 points. Revenant, after playing 2 matches, they have got 6 points only. So Darshita, I guess these teams have to be very aware about the upcoming situations, about the upcoming fights which are going to be there right now. Because even after playing 2 matches, if you are actually falling behind those teams which are actually playing only 1 match and still they are coming before you, well, that's going to be very difficult for these teams to come up at this point.
Well, yes, I would really agree. We know, right? We know the point that each of the team gets a chance to play 20 matches.
Yeah.
That's 20 maps. And if you're not able to perform in even one single map, the other teams will. And eventually they'll rack up more and more points for themselves. And I guess then you will not be able to do anything. So it's just like consistency is the key. We keep on saying this. But you have to be consistent each and every day. It's not just that you are very consistent on day 1 and then eventually on day 2 you just lose that. I mean, you don't do that, right? You don't do that. You have to be consistent. You have to keep on racking as many points as you can on every day, so that eventually after the end of the day you see yourself somewhere in the first sides of the overall standings.
Indeed, to actually come on the first sides of the 8 points, that is going to be very amazing to watch. But if I talk about the positioning from hashtag 17 to 24, well, we have Team 8-bit after playing 1 match only, they have got 4 points. Team Mayavi after playing 1 match only got 4 points. OR Esports, well, after playing 2 matches, they have got only 4 points, 3 frags for themselves and only 1 position point for them. Marcos Gaming getting only 2 points, and Team Nugget only 2 points, and the teams which have got 0 points, well, we have Xpark, Blind Esports and Revenge Esports. After playing 1 matches each, they have got 0 points for the teams right now. But I guess Xpark, Blind Esports and Revenge Esports are going to come back in the next upcoming fight, Darshita. So I guess they have to rack up some serious points from this point.
Well, I guess that's exactly what I was about to say. That yes, we do have the sides of Team Xpark, Team Blind Esports and Revenge Esports in the upcoming map of Erangel, and I guess a comeback is needed. I guess eventually some racking up of points, some good chicken dinner, some delicious chicken dinner is really needed here. We are gonna head ourselves towards the 3rd map of the day. I mean, look how fast the time flies. We are just done with 2 matches. We are heading ourselves towards the 3rd one. But I would really like to let you all guys know that if you okay, let's before talking anything, let's just go towards the next map directly. The map of Erangel is all set. The 3rd map of Erangel. Well, for the fly path, Raider, on to you.
Well, the flight path is going from the southwestern area right now, and you can already see it is going to cross the areas of Rismog, then it is going to touch the area of Georgiapol, Pochinki, School Apats, then we have Rozhok, Water City also coming up into the perspective. I guess that's a favorite drop for Team Xpark. Other than that, we have Stelber at the end, then we also have Severny, Yasnaya also coming up, but again we want to see a shift of Nova Ribne, or let's say southeastern region, and then the teams are going to get a challenge to actually rotate, get a challenge to actually be in the zone, and that is something we have to be pretty aware about. That is something I'm pretty interested to watch watch. But at this moment, look at that. Severny could be a great contestant for the team right now, but all the other teams are actually trying to go on the southern region, because we have a clash coming up into the area of Query, into the area of Prismog. That's great. Other than that, if I talk about Team X-Park, well, they are going to jump into the area of Water City and surrounding areas of Rozok. Well, that's the drop which they actually choose. But eventually, Georgia Pool is also going to be very, very contested, and there could be a casualty coming up initially from that point.
Well, initial fights all over, but look at that zone once again. We do have a fight, and looking at the play zone once again, you can see that completely going towards the western sides. I mean, okay, what's happening on the other screen there? What's exactly happening on the other screen there? The vehicle is just running behind one player trying to take him down, but eventually, I guess he heard some calls from the team to come back, or either some bullets. Well, yes, I guess he heard some bullet there, and that's the reason he just went back there. And then, I mean, this is not something I really expected to start the third map of Erangel with. Coming down to the point, the sides of Primox as well are completely enlightened up with fight. So goes to the sides of Georgia Pool cities as well. Look at this first pick. Williams, well, Blind Williams has to go down there. We were talking about the sides of Team Blind, but not able to rack up some points for themselves. I guess not such a good start for them.
Well, guys, let me remind you once again, only top 10 teams which are going to qualify for the grand finale are going to be there right now. These are the top 10 teams on the leaderboard are going to be there. Total of 28 teams are actually fighting, and these are the few teams which are going to qualify. That is going to be the top 10 teams. Well, we will see that which are the top 10 teams which are going to qualify after the 5 days are over. But other than that, Team Blind, after getting one initial frag, are very, very safe at this point. If I talk about Team 8B, well, Tsunami has been picked off. Now Juicy, Raid and Madman is going to fight out right now. Let's see what eventually happens. Raid, one of those great assaulters, is going to put that side into perspective. Let's see what eventually happens. Let's see how the rotations are going to be. And if I talk about the area of Prismark, well, that's a comparatively very huge compound, and Raid is already looting on the backdrop areas. He's trying to find more and more scopes. He has got the AKM, if I'm not wrong, AKM along with an M16A4. Well, that's great. And the favorite gun Thompson is also going to be there right now. And once again, we don't have Scout in Team X-Park. Well, I don't know what Team X-Park is trying to do, but still they are going to be undermined in terms of manpower at least.
I mean, yes, definitely that's going to be the case. 3 players, and you eventually know right now that you have been playing 2 maps continuously, and you don't have one of your players. You just don't have one manpower with you. It gets really difficult. Not to the starting, but eventually, yes, to the end of these zones, it gets really difficult. On the other hand, you talk about Hyderabad Hydras. There, you see them nearby, and I just see them racking up for a fight, just going all their hands over some great loot that they can. So eventually, they won't miss out for anything when a fight, starts at their case.
Yeah, of course. It is going to be very amazing to watch that how the fights are going to initiate from this point. We have Hyderabad Hydras, first knock, which is actually going to put that perspective. Blind is also trying to find more and more angles. They have got the M16A4. They are trying to actually take the fight. Let's see what eventually happens to them. Let's see. They are going to fight it out. Let's see how the gun game is going to be there right now. Well, that's going to be very amazing to see that how the fights are going to be. So let's see what eventually happens to them. Let's see how the casualties are going to build from this point. I can already see Team 8-bit Raid is going on the back foot area. He's trying to find more and more loot. He's trying to find more and more flanks so that eventually the points can be raised from that angle. But if we talk about UDOG India, well, they have got the Pochinki front port, and now they are going to loot the Pochinki area, and there is nobody to contest them. Well, that's a great thing. We had eventually 16 teams, 64 players fighting it out, but now we have got a loss of 2 players. The live status is about to come very, very soon, so that eventually you can know. UDOG Rambo rotating and looting on the back foot areas. If I talk about Hyderabad Hydras, we have first knock trying to loot it up. If I talk about Striker and Ace Black, well, they are trying to find more and more locations so that eventually those point system can be gained. But if I talk about the other guys coming up from that angle, well, there could be a casualty with Team No 5. There could be a fight coming up. But if I talk about Team Blind, well, they are trying to find more and more angle. But I guess Team 8-bit is not ready to give them more frags, and that is why Team 8-bit is trying to rotate from the left flank, and there could be a casualty coming up from the C areas.
Well, yes, that can be the case. I mean, look at Blind's Williams right now. He is just waiting. Okay. First pick. Okay, I thought Team Blind lost one of their player a while ago. I'm extremely sorry for that. I really thought Team Blind lost one of their player, but no, eventually they took one finish point for themselves. That's going to be a great start for them. I really am sorry for the words. But anyways, coming back to the points, the sides of Team Hyderabad Hydras right now are just patching themselves off completely, as they really know that anytime this fight can just begin. On the other hand, you see the sides of team Skylightz Gaming. Well, apartments and school completely they have into their hands. You see no players around, no rotations, no voices, no vehicle sound, no gun sound at this moment, and I'm really waiting to hear those beautiful bullet sounds all around, so that even we get to know of how aggressive these players can get.
Yeah, aggression could be a perspective at this moment, but if I talk about Team Xpac, well, they are trying to rotate and they are trying to find a good gap. In the last match we saw, in the first match we saw that Team Xpac was unable to actually get that good grasp of the zone, and at this moment they are trying to let's say learn from that mistake, and Mayavi is trying to find more and more angles, and look at that, he's trying to loot, and the other guys, that is going to be Gil and Viru, they are also constantly trying to find more and more perspective so that eventually they could give a good tackling fight. But if I talk about Team Nugget, well, there is nobody to contest into the area, and right now they are just trying to loot, they are just trying to get the bags full, and then eventually the fights will be there. Of course the battle is going to be there right now, and of course this is AMD's presence, SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM. So guys, make sure to check out the websites for more and more exciting deals. But if I talk about Team Orangutan, we have seen them perform, we have actually appreciated them a lot, and you guys know that in the first match they got 19 frags, but I guess Darshita, they have to maintain the consistency, because that's the key to success from this point.
I mean, yes, so consistency is the key to success. Right now, the players are completely at a peace. This match is just going completely at a peace. No fights happening, no casualties happening, no players taking any kinds of risk. But yeah, audience, let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, before I remind you, there's one more fight going on the sides of Team Xpac. Their tactical players have been caught. Well, Hitman has to depart there once again. Tactical Joy has to go down. Tactical Kid is down to the ground. Team Tactical is into lot more of difficulties. Well, rotational clashes are something that we really haven't seen far so much, but right now Team Tactical and Team Xpac getting into a fight. Team Tactical, well, lost two of their players. Once again, no, has to be careful, but goes down. Team Xpac, Viru moving forward, taking the confirmation of the player. Well, yes, he will be going in for a great confirmation, and Gil needs to be brought back to his life.
Well, of course, Gil could be revived at this point, but other than that, if I talk about Team UDOG India, well, look at that. They have made the pressure. They are going to push in with this beautiful Tesla, and now they are going to get more and more casualties for Team Xpac right now, and this could be the end of Team Xpac. But now, if the retaliation is going to be there, that would be major for Team Xpac, because at 3-man standing, if they actually manage to get a 3v4 battle into their perspective, well, that would be lovely for Team Xpac, and that could be a great boost of confidence for this team, because in the last match, you saw that they were unable to get even a single point into their perspective, and I don't want to see that kind of thing repeating again.
Well, they may get some good more frags for themselves, but there you go. UDOG is all set to get into one more fight. There you go. One grenade, 2 grenades there with some smokes as well, chucking off to the enemy side, not getting any kind of connections. Mayavi with that grenade, but I guess not so pinpoint precise at this moment to get any kind of connections. A 3v4 fight that's all set to begin at any moment. Team Xpac with 2 finishes to their account. Mayavi is just trying to block enemies visions completely, so that Team Xpac faces no casualty. UDOG is all set. They are just trying to scout for more and more information, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen, as we saw, right? Team Xpac, they took 2 players down from Tactical, and they are just trying to build up the momentum so that the next upcoming fights they try to take a victory on.
Yeah, of course, they are trying to build that momentum. Team Revenge was picked off really very early, as we have already talked, but now in this match, I guess they are trying to survive more and more, but there could be a casualty coming up, there could be a clash coming up in this zone rotation, because the second zone is going to shrink in about 30 seconds, and that is something they are to be worried about. Actually, all the other teams which are surviving in the lobby has to be worried about that situation, but now I guess Team Revenge has actually found a good grasp of the lobby, and now they are going to retaliate, or let's say re-evaluate the whole positioning of their teams. So let's see how the fights are going to be. Let's see how the game is going to begin from this point. I guess Team Revenge is pretty scattered, and this is something they have to be pretty worried about. Now, if we talk about Team Nugget, well, with this beautiful McLaren, they are also trying to find more and more good locations where they could just hold from this point, and we have a fight coming up. I guess that's Mashka's Team Forever going heads on, guns blazing with the Team Revenge, if I'm not wrong.
Well, actions. That's something that we really wait for, right? If I'm not wrong, actions is something that we really wait for. But right now, you see players are taking one opponent down, but eventually just either falling off or just going at a piece. And that's where we get to know that right now even position points are going to be important. It's not just about you racking up as many finish points for yourself as you can. If you just try to go in for numerous of fight and get 3 or 4 players down, but eventually get eliminated on the 15th, 14th or 13th position, that's going to be of no help. You need to have those position points so that it will help you grow more and more. So yes, that's going to be the case. But now we're talking about fights. Well, yes, you are pretty sure team getting into a fight that's going to be always bolted there trying to scout for information. But yes, Team Revenge right now is working with great inner wall covers, and I guess this part is something that's an advantage for them.
Yeah, there could be an advantage for coming from that angle, but look at that. Team Xpark already getting 2 points for themselves right now. Well, that's going to be very great for the team. But the last match victor, or should I say the last match winner chicken dinner Team Tactical is going to face Team Xpark from this point. So that could be very amazing to watch. But look at the cluster coming up. Not even a single squad has been wiped out, and that is going to be very amazing for us as a caster and for our audience to see that how the teams are going to fight. Meanwhile, if I talk about the team members, or should I say esports athlete playing with the teams, well, they are going to get a lot of contestment into the third zone. That is going to be very amazing to watch. And look at that, already all the teams are going to be into the center zone, so that eventually wherever the zone gets shifted, there might be a probability that you are going to be in the zone.
I mean, no gatekeeping. Yeah. As simple as that. No gatekeeping. You can see everyone just migrating towards the centers, and the edges are being left isolated. But what is that zone? I mean, I was just waiting it to go somewhere near Hospital and Hills, but no, it just goes to all the opposite way to the western sides. On the other hand, Team Xpark just completing the fight. They left. Gil will be caught. Well, will be punishing the sides of Team Tactical. 4 finishes for the sides of Team Xpark. They left the fight. They took 2 players down and 2 players just disengaged from the fight. But Team Xpark managed to take 2 of them down as well. On the other hand, one more team arriving. It's going to be the sides of Team Skylightz Gaming. There, one more fight for the sides of Team Xpark. Will Skylightz Gaming get into this fight? I guess no. They are just heading themselves towards the zone and won't prefer getting into any kinds of fight. But what they have to deal with right now is the rotational clashes coming all their way.
Well, that's a great strategy, that eventually you get a great placement in the zone, and then after the 5th or 6th zone is going to end, then you actually get some more frags. You do the third party, you actually pick more knocked and finished players. So that would be lovely for them to watch. But other than that, if I talk about Team Revenge, well, they are still trying to find more and more angles. They are unable to get that perspective, but there we go. The shots are being made right now. Team Skylightz Gaming is peacefully trying to rotate, and there we go. Finally, Team Revenge decides to put some damage, and Shark is the one which is actually trying to rotate, actually trying to retaliate once again. But Team Enigma once again getting contested by the hands of Team Reckoning. Well, that's really very sad for Team Enigma. Now we can see that a fight of Team Orangutan Gaming versus Team Marcos Gaming could be there right now, and Marcos Gaming is there right now. They have not put the prefix yet, but still, guys, you should remember that's the Marcos Gaming. Team of 15 is going to be Team Marcos Gaming, which is going head to head with Team Orangutan at this moment. But I guess Darshita, they are very, very cornered, and now next zone rotation could be very tiring for the team.
Well, yes, that can be the case. Well, you can see this game status right now on the other hand. You can see Team Tactical being eliminated, the first ever team to get eliminated. On the other hand, Team 8-Bit lost 2 of their players. Enigma and Team TX are running low on one player is all that we have. Right now, all that we have right now. But coming back to the points, as we were talking about fights, we do see multiple clusters happening. We do see players scouting for players, and they do find more and more informations over them, but they are not gonna go for a fight. I just don't know why exactly this is happening, but the fights are getting lesser, and the time is just going on and on. We see it's a 15-minute mark that we are gonna hit really very, very soon right now, and it's all peace. It's still all peace, but not for a longer period of time. Right there will be spotting one player down from the sides of Team OG, but I guess no. Team OG has decided to go off the fight, disengage, and play at a safer situation, at a safer area, and just be aware that they don't lose out any position.
Oh, now it's gonna be very interesting to watch that way the shift is gonna be there.
Well, so yes, that's gonna be the case. At this moment, the zone can shrink at any moment, and I'm really pretty excited to see. There you go. Once an open zone, again an open zone is what exactly is happening. Players just trying to migrate towards the zone once again, as it's going to be really important right from now onwards, paying a do you respect the play zone, or we really know what happened in the previous match, right?
Yeah, of course. It is going to be very amazing to watch that how the fights are going to initiate from this point. But I guess the fourth zone has already been there right now. Team Hyderabad Hydras is trying to handle the whole perspective. But other than that, Team 8-bit is still very, very cornered. But look at that panic situation coming up. The nade could be casualty for 8-bit Raid, but he manages to fall back from the point, and that was really very brilliant. Otherwise, that would be a really very stupid mistake from that angle.
I mean, why? Why did it just happen? TX Vero there has to go off completely. Well, Team X Park was already running low onto one player. Second goes down. Eventually, the third one goes down. Mayavi is set on fire completely, and that drop shots from Hyderabad Hydras wouldn't let him survive no longer. That's an elimination for the sides of Team X Park as well. On the other hand, when you talk about the sides of Team OG, where grenades once again. I just want to see see the hell pouring of grenades onto the enemies as they did in the very first map of Erangel. Well, I don't know, will they be it once again, or no? The backup has been caught. The sides of Team 8-bit has been caught. One player down to the ground. Juicy there, just waiting patiently as is the last surviving player, and even one mistake will make him say a complete goodbye. Trigger there trying to go in. Juicy just right in the front is being caught. His location is being revealed, and I just am not sure of how long can he survive now.
Look at that, he's trying to survive at this moment. He's just trying to actually get that retaliation into the perspective. If Raid gets that revival, there could be a possible retaliation coming up. But I guess Team Orangutan Gaming is not going to let them. And there we go. Ash comes up once again. This guy is going to be fan favorite, if I'm not wrong, in terms of semi-finale, because this is the man, this is the myth, this is the legend, which is trying to flank, which is trying to backstab, which is trying to gain more and more points for his team right now. And just like that, Team Orangutan Gaming is getting those charm into the perspective. But now if I talk about Team Reckoning, Maxi OP goes down by the hands of Team Enigma. And finally, Team Enigma is fighting it out. After losing one good guy, Team Enigma is showing their charm. Enigma is trying to retaliate. That's great for them. But now only 3 teams have been taken down. But Darshita, look at that. Team Tactical has also been picked off. In the last match, they managed to get that victory. But in this match, the consistency is gone.
Exactly, that's the whole point, right? You see one team performing great on the map of Erangel, but as the map changed, the strategies change, the pace change, everything changed, and that's exactly what I am scared of. On the other hand, you see multiple fights happening. OG Chankon has been down to the ground. Believe trying to go as much further as he can with that rap gun. Oh well, that's my favorite gun if you eventually talk about. But Believe has to be really very careful. Takes one player down. Okay, what Trigger? Okay, Trigger was the one to take one player down. A great cover fire is what we all need, but in the end, Believe has to go down as well. Trigger and Ash are the 2 surviving players here, and here will this fight work into the favors of Team OG there, as you know, right? You know the way they performed in the map of very first map of Erangel was just so shocking and surprising for all of us. Ash trying to hold back the position. Sultan is being caught. Well, he'll be taking down one player there, but eventually will be traded there. And right now, Trigger is going to be the last surviving player. I just am not sure of what exactly is going to happen. Believe is down to the ground. Ash is being confirmed. On the other hand, Sultan is down to the ground with 2 finishes. We do have 3 surviving players from Oldwood.
Meanwhile, we have Team Revenge also trying to take a battle. Final boss, which was actually picked off in the last battle, is here right now. He has been actually decimated, but still he can be revived. Still he can be actually incorporated into the fight. But now Reckoning Esports has actually got eliminated. If I talk about Team Blind, in the first match, Team Blind was not able to stand out. But now in this match, Team Blind is still here in the fight, and that's great. Team Hyderabad Hydras is trying to fall out from the fight. And look at that, Ace Black trying to retaliate, trying to actually just fall out in the zone. And this is going to be the 5th zone, which is going to come in very sharply. And they find out a very good angle, because they have to find out a very good side of the zone from which they could actually easily escape into the zone and then get more and more frags from this point. Let's see what eventually happens. Carry, Ace Black, first knock, and there could be a striker for the win. That's the Hyderabad Hydras lineup. And if I talk about Team OH, after losing Sultan, or should I say after getting knocked out, Sultan is still actually trying to provide more and more position of other teams or the enemies, so that eventually they could actually help it out.
I mean, yes, I just was having a look on what what Team Hyderabad Hydras did. The man, he went from the center of the zone with that vehicle. He scouted for information and just went straight out of the zone to his teammates. I guess that's the best ever strategy that you can use, collecting all the information, going out and then moving forward towards the zone. On the other hand, when you talk about fight, well, yes, Team UDOG getting into one more fight, 1 player down, 2nd player down as well. OS Bolte there is trying to take more and more, but on the other hand, there you go. Final boss, he'll be going for a different angle, and somewhere, not exactly a third party is what I can say, as we can see multiple clusters happening all over. Older players, Crazy and Klaus is down to the ground. Sultan and Ninja White are the two surviving players. On the other hand, you can see the live survival that's going on. Well, Skylightz Gaming is just running low 3 of their players. It's going to be 1 player surviving. UDOG, I guess, has been eliminated there, and they're completely. We do have 9 teams with 28 surviving players, and Believe is the last surviving player for the sides of Team Orangutan there.
Well, of course, the trouble is on right now. We can see that the 5th zone is going to comprise very soon. But let me remind you guys that after this match, we'll have a short break of 5 minutes, and then all the matches, all the remaining 3 matches are going to be streamed exclusively on Loco. So you should just download the app. You should just go for it and just eventually enjoy the whole stream. If you want to actually see these teams performing once again in the remaining 3 matches, you should just go for the Loco. But other than that, there we go, guys. We have another battle coming up. Team Revenge going for the ham, and there we go. They're trying to retaliate. The final boss is trying to get that carnage into perspective, but he was backstabbed by some other guy that is going to be Nexus team. Forever managed to put that carnage into perspective, and with that, they actually got that frag into the perspective. That was brilliant, man.
I mean, he could have took the entire team down, but it's just that you need to check your back, and a 1v4 situation, I guess that's doing that is really difficult. Believe will be going in for an aggressive push. Sultan is being caught there. Okay, there you go. Sultan is down to the ground, but is not sure of the other position. Crazy is down to the ground. Believe going ham over the enemy's takes. 1 take, second, but no, Believe has to go down. Was not sure of the third player there. Believe, oh my god, he took 2 players down. It's going to be a clutchable situation for him, but was not completely racked up from the information, and that's where he eventually got eliminated. We do have 6 teams and 18 surviving players. Team Mayavi there looking pretty passive at this moment, looking pretty at a peace, I would say. Not even passive, pretty peace, I would say, is the word I would definitely like to use there. Not getting themselves into much more of fights, playing for position points, but let's see. You just don't know, right? You just don't know. One team gets up one day and decides to just go ham over the enemies, and you know what next happens. So yeah, that can be the case at any moment. On the other hand, Skylightz Gaming, well, yes, Team Nugget is being caught, not just caught, but punished. Well, Anuj will be off completely.
Well, I guess if you remember that they have got Team Mayavi has got only 4 points in match number 1, so that is why they are trying to play really very safe. Eventually, they will get that position point, and then they are going to put that frag into the perspective. And now you can see that Nakul is trying to get as many as finishes he could do for the team right now. But other than that, Team Forever also shining really very brightly, and they are just going all ham in the lobby. They have got 7 frag into perspective. They are in the top 5. That's great for them. But eventually, now they are going to face off some other team. That is going to be team number 10, if I'm not wrong, and there could be casualty coming up. Team Blind is also trying to retaliate. Meanwhile, Hyderabad Hydras are also trying to pacify the fight right now, but let's see what eventually happens. Team Blind with 6 amazing frags are going. Oh, look at that. William has been taken down by the brutal lead of Team Forever's player 5. That's good. If I talk about Team Mayavi, well, look at that. Carry could be picked up from this angle, and there we go. I guess Carry is not going to survive just because with that vehicle burst, the damage was done, and now he could be picked up from the fight, and 4 teams are left. I guess one more team has been picked up.
Well, yes, one more team has been picked up. But look at this. One side of the zone is completely a cluster, and the other side is completely at a piece. I mean, the team that's completely at a piece right now can play a great game. They just can wait behind for the fight to get completed and then just go ham over the enemies and take the delicious winner chicken dinner. But eventually, I don't know what exactly the strategies can be. Mani, on the other hand, going in with that grenade, trying to take more and more players down. Well, Blind is into more of difficulties right now. Pokemon is going to be the last surviving player, and I'm just waiting to see of how much more can he survive. Nakul, it's just grenades going all over. Nakul with one more grenade there. Mayavi has already lost one of their players, but eventually Nakul manages to take Nexus down with that grenade. Pokemon going in for a revival. That's a much needed revival for the team, but Team Hyderabad Hydras, I mean, look at them. They are so at a piece inside the zone and just can wait for the players to arrive into the zone, and as soon as they see some players lurking around, it's done. Team Hyderabad Hydras can get that chicken dinner, but I'm not sure will these teams let it happen.
Well, I guess it is going to be a very tiring situation for the teams right now. 4 teams are left, 11 players are going to survive right now. If I talk about Team Forever, they have got 9 frags. They are actually looking forward to get more and more frags. Now, if I talk about Team Blind, well, they are also getting tagged out. Team Mayavi is also getting punched from that angle. But Team Blind is pretty much sandwiched from this location. They have to be in zone, and that is something Team Forever and Team Mayavi are not letting him to do. So, I guess from this location, the fights are going to be very amazing. But if I talk about Team Hyderabad Hydras, well, you can see, Darshita, that they already have a major chunk of the zone and there is nobody to contest them at this point.
I mean, what was that grenade? That was just so amazing. Team Mayavi, well, okay, there you go. Team Blind has been eliminated. We do have 3 last surviving teams. It's gonna be a 3v3v3 situation. If I'm not wrong, it's gonna be a 3v3v3. But Hyderabad Hydras are all set. You know, they are just waiting. They know that this is our area for now. We do not see any team inside the zone. They are just waiting for players to arrive. But Team Forever, well, with 10 finishes, they are just going into a great fight. There you go, Team Manya is being caught, but no, on the other hand, Nakul will be eliminating player. I just thought for a moment that player 5 can take Manya down there, but eventually Nakul provided a great cover fire and 1 player was down. Hyderabad Hydras, well, they have started to take players off this, and 1 player, well, it's been eliminated completely. OS Bolte has to say a goodbye there and there. Nexus has to depart as TM Edmino spots him with that AKM shots, and we do have 2 teams. HS Striker FTW with that grenade will be taking, and ladies and gentlemen, the last fight, Team Mayavi versus Team Hyderabad Hydras is all that is left. With that Molotovs, we can get that connection. Nakul is the last surviving player, but there you go, done and dusted. Team Hyderabad Hydras getting the most amazing winner and a delicious chicken dinner.
That was really very amazing. Team Hyderabad Hydras went on farm at this moment and they were able to get that victory into their perspective. Well, after the 7th zone, they had a very major chunk of the zone, and that was something I was very excited to see, that how they are going to retaliate with the perspective. Like we have seen many times team getting that zone into their favor, then also choking that victory, then also choking that winner chicken dinner. But Team Hyderabad Hydras is not here to mess up. They are here to win the victory. They are here to actually get that carnage into the perspective, and that, my friend, was very amazing to watch, that how they retaliated. Well, Team Mayavi was also trying to play it really very safe. Initially they did played very safe. They tried to actually retaliate. They actually crushed down Team Blind. Then they were actually went on ham with some other team right now, but eventually Team Mayavi, 3 versus 3 battle was there with Hyderabad Hydras and Team Mayavi. But then Team Mayavi's Admino was picked off, and after that there was nothing to do. Some other guy from Team Hyderabad Hydras pushed in from the right angle, and just like that the finishes were there. And while seeing all of that, the fight was literally very sharp, but literally very enjoyable. And then it was over. Team Hyderabad Hydras secured that winner chicken dinner into their perspective, and this is the first victory for themselves. But I guess this is not going to be the last for them.
I mean, Raider, I really like the way Team Hyderabad Hydras approached this fight. You know, you saw at the very beginning they were at a peace. You just didn't see them anywhere getting into any kind of fights or something. But at the end, they just popped off so amazingly. I eventually liked one single point where Team Hyderabad Hydras went into the zone. One player, that was Ace Black, if I'm not wrong, he just went into the zone. He scouted for information, and he just was in the center of the zone, right? He was into the complete center of the zone, but eventually he took the vehicle and straight away went out of the zone. And I mean that's something I really like the most. You scout for information, you go further, and you just wait behind. And with that information that this team had, they eventually took a great chicken dinner for themselves. At the end, even, you know, right, it was 3 to 4 surviving teams where Hyderabad Hydras very well knew that they have an advantage of zone. And you really know, when you have an advantage of zone, you can just wait and chill. You can just wait for the players to come. And you know, right, you know what happened next. I just don't need to explain it again. You really know what happened next.
Well guys, let me remind you once again, only the top 10 from the leaderboard after the day number 5 of semi-finale are going to qualify for the grand finale, where you are going to see Team VLG, formerly known as IND, Team Soul, Team Godlike, 7C Esports, TSM and Gaming Esports once again to actually battle it out with these top 10 semi-finalist teams which are going to actually qualify from this angle. But other than that guys, let me remind you that from this moment, all the other 3 matches are going to be streamed on Loco exclusively. So go ahead and download it so that eventually we can just provide you with the more awesome content with this whole tournament. All the 3 matches are going to be there on the Loco platform.
Well, yes, make sure you go to Play Store and download Loco, because I don't really think you want to miss this section. Do you want to? I mean, what happened in the last three maps is just amazing, and this kind of action is not something that you definitely miss. So I would really suggest you guys go and download Loco so that you can just witness the last three maps. Well, let me remind you, we are done with the map of Erangel, Miramar, and Erangel once again. After the short break that we hit, in any moment right now, we are gonna get ourselves to the map of Miramar. And you know, right? You know the map of Miramar. You know how it is, what it is. 8x8 map. Everyone knows that. But the height advantage, the rich gameplay, and everything that we discussed about the map of Miramar, that is something that I'll be waiting for. And moreover, the star of the match. Well, there you go. Team Mayavi Knuckle going all out with 6 finishes. We do have Ninja Whitey as the best companion for 4 revivals, and we do have Striker FTW as the finisher of final elimination.
Yeah, that is actually very amazing to watch that how Nakul actually did all the damage in the lobby. He got 6 finishes, got 2 bonus points for himself, and then eventually he scored a damage of approximately 1100. That was absolutely amazing. But if I talk about Ninja Whitey from Team Old Road Esports, well, he was the best companion with a number of revivals gonna be 4, health restored is gonna be 114, and other than that, the survival time is also gonna be very amplified. Look at that, 1238 for him, and HH Striker for the win. That was the final nail into the coffin of Team Mayavi. He got 2 finishes, he gave 2 assists. Total distance was traveled close to 1000 points, but other than that, the survival time was also very amplified. And with that, the victory was there. With that, the winner chicken dinner was there right now. Look at that, we have the semi-finale, day 1, match number 3 standings, which you can see that, and Team Hyderabad Hydras logo is already shining onto the winner chicken dinner portfolio. But you can see that with 24 points, this team is running havoc on the lobby.
Well, yes, with 24 points, we do have the sides of Team Hyderabad Hydras, Team Forever on the second position, the total of 20. Team Mayavi, well, this match can give them a lot more of momentum, and we may expect, for them to shine in the upcoming 3 matches. Well, you know that, right? You know that, right? You just need a bit of confidence in your momentum, and if you get that, you know what's gonna happen next. So yes, we may see things happening. Team Mayavi at the 3rd position, Team Blind Esports on the 4th, Skylightz Gaming on the 5th, Revenant Esports with a total of 8, as same as Skylightz Gaming. Orangutan on the 7th position with total of 7 points. Old Hood on the 8th position with 5 for them. Nugget with 4 for them. Enigma with 4. Same goes for the sides of Team X-Park for 4 for them as well. Reckoning Esports with a total of 3. UDOG with 1. But Team 8-Bit, Marcos Gaming, and Tactical Esports, well, they are not able to accumulate even a single point in this map of Erangel.
Well, this is something to be worried about, because in the last match we saw Team Tactical Esports gaining that winner chicken dinner to the perspective, and in this match they have been choked out really very harshly. Well, I guess we have to talk about the consistency of some teams which are actually trying to gain more and more points at this point. For example, if I talk about Team Orangutan Gaming, eventually they have got only 7 points for themselves in the second map, but in the first map they have got 34 points, and if we total it out, it is going to be 41 points, and I guess still they could reign easily on the top 5 tables of the overall standing, and that is something these teams have to work on. Because now the 3 matches have been over, the day 1 has already been started. Let's say half of the day 1 has already been over right now, and we can already see that few of the teams which are trying to engage a lot right now, that is going to be Hyderabad Hydras, that is going to be Team Orangutan. Even Old Esports is also trying to fight it out really harshly. Skylightz Gaming meanwhile also getting the position points in all the other matches. For example, in the map of Miramar, they actually came into the 3rd position, 3rd or 4th position, and in this map also they actually managed to get the great position. But look at that, overall standing is here right now, and beautifully Team Orangutan is still on the top right now, still reigning on the top with 16 position points, and a total number of finishes is going to be 25. Nobody is close to it.
Well, nobody is. I mean, just look at that. Orangutan 2 matches played, 25 finishes. That's the highest number of finishes that any team has racked up. And I guess the map of Erangel was the only reason to rack up so many points for themselves, with a total of 41 for them and a chicken dinner. Well, yes, Hyderabad Hydras on the 2nd position with a total of 25 placement points, 13 finish points, a total of 38 with 1 delicious chicken dinner. Team Entity and Forever got 26 and 25 for them respectively, but eventually got no chicken dinner. On the other hand, when you talk about Tactical Esports, the map of Miramar, I guess, where they got a chicken dinner, was really amazing to witness. But eventually, when you talk about the map of Erangel, once again, it was not up to the mark, I would say.
yeah, the performance could be improved at that point, but eventually, if I talk about teams like, let's say, UDOG India, or should I say teams like Blind Esports, well, they are jumping really very sharply. And other than that, team Old Esports is very close to go on the table toppers list of top 8. Other than that, they have got 17 points for themselves, Celsius Esports 17 for them, UDOG India going with 15, and Blind Esports respectively with 15. Team EXO are getting 14 points only. Other than that, R Esports, we have 10 points right now. We can see a balance of finishes and balance of position points at this moment for R Esports, but of course, this balance has to be improved in terms of, let's say, double digit points. That could be improved. That could be the major focus of this team. But if we talk about hashtag 17 to hashtag 24, we have a reckoning to all the way Marcos Gaming. Well, at the bottom of this list, we are going to see Marcos Gaming, and eventually team Xpark was the one which was able to get 4 frags in this last match. That is why they are at hashtag 23 at this point.
The way the previous match was for Team X-Park, it was pretty well, I would say. They managed to take, 4 finishes for themselves with 3 standing players. They don't have the 4th player right now playing. So yeah, with 3 players, 3 playing athletes, they did manage to take 4 finishes. But at the end, it's all about the balance between finishes and placements. It's not just about that you go and ham over the enemies, or it's not just about that you don't even move from your position. It's just about balancing both of the aspects, and eventually if you are able to do that, I guess that's the most amazing thing that you will eventually do. Right now we do have team Orangutan as the table toppers, and we do see them not letting that throne go to anyone. I'll say anyone, definitely anyone. So yes, we do have last 3 maps remaining, but once again, let me remind you guys, we are gonna have 3 maps exclusive on Loco. So if you haven't downloaded Loco yet, go to the Play Store and make sure you download Loco as soon as possible.
Well, of course, guys, with that, we'll take a short break and we'll be back in 4 to 5 minutes. So be awaited, and please make sure to search on Loco also.
Don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you're gonna be on top. I'm ready to go. Feeling like a million eyes on me. I'm unstoppable. If you go against me, then you better compete. Yeah, yeah. Why you keep knocking at my door? You came to fight, yeah, that means war. Gotta level up, wanna settle the score. Yeah, feels a lot better than it did before. What you brand new, yeah, it's time to go pro. Go beast mode, better find a cheat code. On my throne, now I'm in my zone. Better look better than it did before. I said the play don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. That's my game, it's your game, and let the whole world watch. I said the play don't stop, just keep it going, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game. Go ahead, let them talk. on top. I'm ready to go. Feeling like a million eyes on me. I'm unstoppable. If you go against me, then you better compete. Yeah, yeah. Why you keep knocking at my door? You came to fight, yeah, that means war. Gotta level up, wanna settle the score. Yeah, feels a lot better than it did before. What you brand new, yeah, it's time to go pro. Go beast mode, better find a cheat code. On my throne, now I'm in my zone. Man, it looks better than it did before. I said if play don't stop, just do your thing, and you know you gon' be on top. That's my game, it's your game, say it now, and let the whole world watch. I said if play don't stop, just keep it going, and you know you gon' be on top. It's my game, it's your game. Go ahead, let them talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to AMD Sky Esports Grand Slam. We do have our gaming partner Logitech G and broadcasting partner Loco. And as we promised, we'll be back within a short break. So here we are. We were just so excited that we couldn't control our excitement, and we said we'll be back soon. So yes, we are. Back on the desk soon. We are done with 3 maps for semi-finales day 1 and left out with 3 maps. Well, before starting anything, I'll just give you guys a gentle reminder that we are gonna switch any time to Loco in between of the 4th match. And if you guys are missing the action, make sure you guys download the Loco from Play Store and don't miss anything.
Well, of course, let me remind you about the semi-final situation which is going to be here right now. The top 6 teams from quarterfinal will face off against 18 invited teams which are there, distributed in 3 groups. They shall be split into 3 groups again and battle it over a span of 5 days, and a total of 30 matches will be there, where each of the teams are going to play 20 matches each. That is going to be very amazing to watch. But let me tell you about the group distribution. In Group A, we have Team Revenant, EXO, Rivalry Esports, R Esports, Celsius Esports, OR Esports, NTT Gaming and Insane Esports. Well, last 2 teams, NTT and Insane Esports, have been qualified from the quarter finale. And if I talk about Group B, well, we are going to see some invited teams such as Xpark, Hyderabad Hydras, Reckoning Esports, Hyderabad Hydras to be exact, Reckoning Esports, Old Hood, Orangutan, Blind, and 2 teams which have been qualified from the quarterfinale are going to be Revenge Esports and Team Mayavi respectively. Other than that, we have Group C also coming up into the fight. Well, invited teams are going to be as for this: Skylightz Gaming, 8-Bit, Tactical Esports, Enigma Gaming, Marcos Gaming, Team Forever, and the qualified teams are going to be UDOG India and Team Nugget. Well, let me remind you about the schedule which was there. In the match number 1, the map was Erangel. Group A into B fought it out, and in match number 2, it was Miramar's map. Group A into C was there to fight it out, but in map number 3, we had map of Erangel, in which Group B into C was taking the fight.
Well, yes, that was something that happened. But right now, what we have is the map of Miramar once again, the 4th map that's going to be the sides of Group A and Group B fighting, Raider. That's going to be amazing. We do have 4 qualified teams, as Raider mentioned a while ago: NTT Gaming, Insane Esports, Revenge, and Team Mayavi once again. I would definitely like to mention the sides of Team Mayavi right now. You can see them forming good in the previous map, but yes, if the consistency is the same, if the performance goes out to be same, I guess racking up, climbing up the stairs would not be such a more difficulty. But yes, coming back, match 5th is going to be the map of Erangel, where we can witness the sides of team Group A and Group C fighting, and the last but not the least, the map of Miramar. It's going to be B into C.
Yeah, it is going to be very amazing to watch that how the fights are going to initiate from that point. Other than that, everything is going to be so soothing. Everything is going to be so amazing to watch that how the fights are going to initiate from the point. Now, I guess if I'm not wrong, the map is going to be of Miramar. Again, it is going to be very tiring to watch. We have seen some vehicles getting fumbled. We have seen some high ridges fight being there right now. If I talk about Team NTT, which was there in match number 2, they were able to get that carnage into the perspective. They were able to get that gun game into the perspective. But in the last match, we saw Hyderabad Hydras getting that winner chicken dinner. Let's see, is the history going to repeat or not? That is going to be the major concern, because we want to see some new faces coming up into the winner chicken dinner streak. In the first match, if I'm not wrong, some other team got that winner chicken dinner. That was Team Orangutan. After that, the other team got the winner chicken dinner. That was Tactical Esports. And then we had Team Hyderabad Esports, Hyderabad Hydras Esports. And then let's see what eventually happens in the match number 4.
I mean, I don't want the history to repeat. I mean, get Get some sniper actions. It's the map of Miramar. It's the most open map that you
Of course.
really play on. Get some sniper actions, or maybe don't just fall because of that vehicles. I don't really want you guys to trust the stability of vehicle anymore in the map of Miramar, as we saw exactly what happened while ago in the map of Miramar. So yeah, definitely I want the history to repeat itself. I really want something new to happen again and again. And right now, I guess the only thing I can say is I really want to, please the gods of BGMI to get me some very interesting zone and flight path to the map of Miramar.
Yeah, an interesting flight path and interesting zone clash can be very major for the fights right now, which are going to be there. It is going to be very amazing to watch that how the teams are going to tackle or how the teams are going to learn from the previous experiences which were there, because now the teams have fighted it out. They have fighted out 3 matches, and there we go. The flight path is also here, so we should not take a lead. But then we have the flight path coming up right now. Look at that, Darshila.
I predict Los Leones. What do you predict? I mean, I just can't say that much. I can predict Los Leones. What can you predict, Raider?
Well, there we go. The flight path is here already. I don't want to predict anything because I don't want to see my prediction going wrong. So that is why I'm going to play very safe. I'm going to play with the match.
A safe card being played right now.
Yeah, of course. But there we go. I guess the flight path is going to start from the western end. It is going to dip towards the southeastern end. Right now, you can see that Impala is going to be the last area where the teams are going to drop, or should I say Puerto Palacio could be the drop area. But eventually, all the other teams are trying to jump it out. Team Revenant already going for the loot right now in the area of Monte Nuevo. That's great for them. Other than that, Team Insane, if I'm not wrong, is going for the El Pozo. In the last match, we saw that there was a clash with Skylightz Gaming, but I guess the groups have been exchanged in this match. So of course, Skylightz Gaming is not going to be here, and the battle is going to be here with Insane Gaming, Insane Esports already pretty much barehanded, and there is no contestment coming up from that angle. But I guess there could be a contestment from this point. Look at that.
Oh.
We have Team 15 chasing the vehicles, but some other guy actually took that vehicle.
No, you don't do this to me. I mean, look at the time. I don't predict anything. I just say I want this to happen. It eventually happens. But right now, when I said Los Leones, it went completely far away, and that's why I always say that the BGMI gods never support me. But anyways, well, talking about the fights right now, yes, initial fights are gonna happen. You see the areas of Los Leones. Great cluster of I guess 3 or more teams can be formed at any moment. On the upper hands, you can see El Pozo, where we can see Hyderabad Hydras already, and Team Insane as well. On the other hand, Team Orangutan somewhere nearby. So I would really say this, Raider, that this map of Erangel can somewhere be a rotational clash. But that grenade,
Whoa.
well, Jadoo doing a great thing here with that grenade. Will be taking Mania down there. Team Mayavi getting into an initial fight hereafter.
Well, in terms of classic maps, this map is very good. And if I talk about the map of Miramar, well, Pecado could be a great loss. But there we go. Jadoo does a magical thing. And now he is on fire right now. Look at that. He could be picked up by that molly. But now he does that small things through which he's actually going to survive. Now Hero is also trying to decimate with the nade. Nakul, meanwhile, is also trying to poke a beautiful nade. And there could be a casualty coming up from those 2 points. But Hero's nade was all in vain. Nobody got that connection. And if I talk about Manya, well, with only one first aid kit, he is still trying to be very safe. If I talk about Team Mayavi players, we have Joker. Other than that, we have Admino. Nakul also is there in the lobby. Manya going for that bandage because he eventually has a first aid kit also, but still he's going for that bandage because he knows that the fights are going to be very passive. It's not like Team R Esports is going to push in at any moment, and that is why they are trying to play it very safe and trying to utilize all the utilities, all the first aid kits very sharply, and let's say very calculated, in a very calculated way.
I mean a big test, I would say. Initial fight without proper utilities, without proper gun. That's something I needed, and there you go. Nakul once again with that grenade. Well, Jadoo, a difficult situation for you, my friend. Okay, there you
Nice.
go. Jadoo has to go depart down and down. Nakul will be going in for one more grenade. Well, a revenge is being taken successfully, I would say, by Nakul, as you remember, right? Jadoo popped off a grenade and took one player down from the sides of Team Mayavi. Well, the grenade was precise, on point, and eventually one player is down to the ground. Team Mayavi, I doubt they will go in for an aggressive push right now, Raider, as you can see, right? It's an initial fight and you are not so rattled up with utilities right now.
And the major thing is that Team Mayavi is pretty much cornered into that Pecado's stadium area where they can't able to actually get the good grasp of the loots, and that is why Team R Esports is pretty much sharp at this point and they have got the loots. But if I talk about Kennedy, he has not got any kind of helmet now. Finally, he does get a helmet that is of level 1. That's great for him. But other than that, if I talk about some other teams such as Revenge Esports, well, they are very close to some other team going with the fight right now. This is the area of lost winners if I'm not wrong, and there could be a casualty coming up, bouncing up from this point. We have a Rivalry, MVP, and the other guys are also trying to retaliate. Let's see what eventually happens to them. Let's see how the fights are going to boom from this point, because at this point the first zone is very passive, as we all predicted, because the map of Miramar is very passive in the initial 2 zones.
Well, yes, sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. We just can't, exactly say that. You see, draw clashes happening, and at the starting only the teams go like boom on each other. So yeah, anything can happen in this game of BGMI. But coming back to the point, well, we can see both of the teams waiting behind. We saw Team Mayavi taking one player down with that grenade, but yes, revival was provided, and right now both of the teams are at a peace, because all that they know is they are running really low on utilities, and even one mistake can cause a lot of things for them. Well, there you go, MVP jumping down. If you could have jumped one floor upper, it was difficult. You would have lost a chunk of your HP. On the other hand, talking about Team Xpark, well, once again, we are going to have 3 players surviving. That's going to be Gil, Uiru, and Mavi there.
Yeah, of course, that is going to be very amazing to watch that how the teams are going to fight right now. Again, Scout has not been found in the lobby, but still they are going to retaliate. Still they are going to fight it out for their fans, for their lovely situation which is going to be there right now. So let's see what Mavi does. Let's see how the hygiene goes for the guy. Other than that, this team is very pacifistic at this point, and they are trying to loot more and more utilities so that eventually they could help themselves. And in the last match we saw they were able to get 4 frags into their courtyard, but in this match there could be a big casualty coming up. If I talk about Team Rivalry, well, look at that Team Rivalry with that open top. Miramar is going to rotate. Well, what do you think about this, Darshita? Open top, and that too a Mirado.
I just won't prefer any vehicles in Miramar. I mean, I just off the thought of what happened in the previous match, I would really not prefer going into a vehicle. But yes, to your question right now, open top sometimes difficult, as you know, right? The damage you deal, even your head is visible there, and it can be difficult. But look at Entity Dark Lord. With that vehicle, he has just managed to escape so good here. I mean, just looking at the position that he is holding, if he has some good snipers to play around with, it can really be difficult for the teams lurking around.
Of course, that's a very good strategic position for the teams right now. But Team Entity Dark Lord is going to face off Team Revenant's player right now. That could be casualty. If I talk about Team Revenant, I guess that's Top Dog, if I'm not wrong, with that beautiful M16A4 working with a beautiful M4X. So there could be casualty coming up from this angle, but I don't know that Top Dog doesn't know about the whole situation that he have a guy on the left angle. But if we talk about Team Celsius, in this match Team Celsius is also pretty calm. Look at that, we have 16 teams still remaining in the fight and 63 players still going head to head with the battle right now. And if I'm not wrong, we have only one guy which has been picked off. Oh, no guy has been picked off. That is Team Xpark, which is losing 1 man.
Well, yes. I mean, so at a piece. We saw grenades exchanging, players going down, but eventually, yes, they were raised back to their life, and that's why we do not have any casualties for any team. Well, look at that, Celsius. Look at that. Even if one mistake, one miss perhaps happen here, no, that's not happening. That's not happening for sure. I just don't want to be a bad girl here. Just saying mishap happening and something really happening there. But on the other hand, when you talk about the sides of Team EXO there, they are looking forward to a great position for themselves, and there you go. See I mean wherever we switch to, we find players just happening something with their vehicles. I don't know what exactly it is, but yeah, something or the other is happening. The zone is crumbling, and the players really need to find themselves a good position onto the zone inside, because you know, right, once this map of Miramar, you are not into a safe position, you can be caught into a situation of gatekeeping that will cause you a lot, and I don't think you really want to go down into such an early stage.
Yeah, of course, you don't want to go down at such an early stage, because then the leaderboard is going to affect, then the pressure will be there into your courtyard. So this is something they have to be pretty aware about. Now if we talk about Team OR, well, they are playing really very safe at this moment, and they are just pushing deep into the zone, and the first zone is comparatively going to shrink very soon. I just want to see the next shrink coming up, next zone clash coming up, next zone rotation coming up. That would be really amazing to watch. But look at these teams right now, Team Revenant, or should I say Team Entity, Team Celsius. Well, they are going to find out more and more good upper edges, so that eventually from this angle they could just just scout all the locations and eventually get some more facts.
They can. They definitely can. But just the thought of zone, I would say, running away from these positions, just going down that hills I'm just so scared of what exactly is going to happen. But on the other hand, you talk about the sides of Team Revenge. There you can see them utilizing all the bandages that he has, and right, you need them, you need these utilities at the end fight, and if you are investing it right now, it can get you into a real more of difficulties. On the other hand, Team OR, well, while rotation is being caught by the sides of Team Rivalry there, Vexy is being dealing a bit of damage from the sides of MVP there, but he is still not down to the ground, and that's the best part.
Yeah, of course, it is again going to be very amazing to watch that how Team OR actually retaliates. Just because they have got a good manpower doesn't mean that they are going to get that victory, because all the other teams are also chasing the whole situation. Now they are actually trying to utilize more vehicles, but other than that, we have 19 more seconds to go for the next zone, which is going to bounce in very, very soon. So let's see how the sharp finishes go on. And Team Revenant is getting chased down by Team number 4, if I'm not wrong, and that is Team EXO, if I'm not wrong. Sensei could be there, and there we go. A spray was there. Ace Black from Team Hyderabad Hydras has been picked up by the hands of OG with that brutal blow of a sniper.
Finally, sniper actions. Raider, I've been waiting for this such a long time, and yeah, finally I see someone with some good sniper shots here. One player down to the ground. Well, revival needs to be provided, but OG Ash there, he is just waiting. And yes, there you go. The back of the team has arrived. Carry has to depart. Well, two players, one more player in case goes down, it can get really difficult. But Trigger is being caught as well by Striker. Was not aware of the position. Striker just took him off, but got instantly traded. First knock is being caught. His location has been compromised, but believe he's patient. He's just waiting. He's just waiting for him to reveal himself, and there you go. Some more space. Vehicle blast can cause him a lot more of problems, but I guess no. Okay, done. That's done and dusted. The whole team has been eliminated.
And I guess let's talk about the consistency. Team Hyderabad Hydras has been taken down. That's a really very sad decision to see. But other than that, now all the remaining teams, all the 15 remaining teams are going to retaliate, going to actually put that carnage into the perspective. And there we go. A sweet drop is there in between a fight. Now Panku is going to actually, let's say, take that cover or maybe fight back from this point, because now that drop is going to provide a very good cover for the team. But other than that, Team Revenant is also right here. Let's talk about Team Hyderabad Hydras. Well, they have been going down with only 1 point in this match. In the last match, they managed to secure 24 amazing points, but in this match they were unable to get anything. And look at that, guys. Austin Vortex is going to get tagged seriously, but literally he's at 45 HP if I'm not wrong, but still is going to survive in the fight. Now Panku is going for that nade, so that might be a connection. There might be a knockout coming up from Team EXO.
Well, there might be, but right now Punk is just waiting behind. Right? He is a lone player right now. The three players are a bit far away from him, and that's the reason I guess Punk will be waiting, just silently waiting. I would say he will not go in for any kind of aggression. The zone shrink somewhere near El Pozo might create a lot more of problems, but I guess I'm wrong. I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. Finally, there's something good happening. El Pozo, where we do have the zone going right away, and as this zone is crumbling, right, the rotational clashes are gonna create a lot more of mess. But down there you can see Team Rivalry getting caught up into a fight. Not yet sure of which team exactly there is.
Yeah, of course, there could be a fight coming up. There could be a clash coming up at that angle right now. Other than that, if I talk about Team Mayavi, again going for that passive fight initially, and then they will eventually gain more and more position points. And then after that, in the 5th and 6th zone, they're going to put that guns, their aggression into the perspective. Right now, if I talk about Team Revenge, after the first match chokeout, now Team Revenge is playing very, very safe. They are trying to play with more strategies, trying to play very, very calm. And if I talk about Team Revenant, after getting decimated, or should I say getting punched back by Team EXO, now they still are very close to the drop. I don't know what they are trying to do. I guess they are going to loot it up, but there we go. I guess finally we have a knockout coming up by the hands of Team Reckoning, and that was Team OR's one player which has been picked up. That is really very sad. I guess that could be Jelly, if I'm not wrong. That has been taken down. That is really very sad, that how the decisions are going to turn out for the team. And you can see that Team Reckoning is very close to a fight, and another guy goes down just like that. New one was going to get that revival, but he was also picked out, and just like that he has been picked out. That is really very sad for the team.
Well, one more player down to the ground. It's going to be 3 surviving players. The backup is arriving, but needs to arrive sooner. The down player can, just be finished at any moment right now. Well, we can see Abra down to the ground. Well, striker has been caught straight down amazingly, goes down to the ground, and we do have two surviving players right now. These two players can entirely change everything, or just lose what they have right now. It's Maxi OP and one more player. Well, I was not able to read the name properly, but on the other hand, you can see NTT Noob going down there. Austin Vortex with that grenade can cause a lot problem for Sensei there if that grenade is on precise point, but I guess no, that's not gonna get any kind of question, any kind of connection at the moment. On the other hand, Entity Noob is being caught and is being punished by the sides of Team Insane, but Team HH, I mean the first team getting eliminated in this entire lobby.
Well, there we go, guys. I guess the battle is going to be very on par. Exopunko is trying to retaliate. Exopunko is trying to put that carnage into perspective. But still, I guess they are trying to provide a very good flank. But if we talk about Team NTT, well, look at that. RE Rockstar hasn't picked up. That's a really very sad thing for Team RE Esports, that now their players are actually going down, and that's a very bad thing for the team. If we talk about Team RE Esports, well, they are going to lose one good guy of their team. And there we go. Team Mayavi could be picked up from this angle. Now, NTT Dark Lord, after getting that higher ridge, is trying to decimate all the other teams which are trying to rotate from that point. And this is something they have already calculated, because that is why they are on the higher ridge. And look at that, Reckoning also going ham on Team OR once again, trying to decimate Team OR. But is it possible for them to get that team? Oh, look at that beautiful spray coming up from Insane Adi, and that was a beautiful chance he got. In multiple ways, in multiple areas, we have single tap fights coming up, we have single shots coming up, and that is actually very amazing to watch.
Well, definitely it is. Talking about Entity Lord there, see Nakul is down to the ground, and he's just making sure to completely eliminate him. And we talk about this, right? We talk about this, Raider, how important a great height advantage is to you, and we have seen this happening multiple times. On the other hand, well, Maxi OP there, he just saw the sides of Team OR rotating nearby, and decided to spray as much as he can with the hope of taking player down, but I guess that was not fulfilled. On the other hand, you can see the sides of Team Revenant as well. Okay, Esports Jado is being caught by NTT Dark Lord. The way this team is utilizing its position beautifully is just amazing. And there you go. That was a nice spray. Two players down. Well, Snacks is just doing an amazing job. Austin Modex has to go down. Sensei is down to the ground. Needs to be revived back to his life. And I guess that's going to be possible. Encore, the last surviving player, has been caught as well. Will be punished and has to say a complete goodbye.
Dude, that was really very amazing. Snacks did a 1v2, and after that his teammates comes in, bounces back, and just like that, Team Revenant was picked up from that point. And now I guess Team Exo is going to bounce back from this point, because that was the spark which they needed, and that was the spark I guess Snacks needed from this location. And now they are pretty out of the zone, so I guess they have to be in the zone, otherwise the zone is going to eat them up alive. But other than that, we have Team OR also getting contested by the fights. We have, if I'm not wrong, that's Team Rivalry which is actually punishing them. Teams like UDOG Esports are very safe at this point. Team OG is also playing really very safe, and in terms of consistency, Team Orangutan Gaming is the only team which I can say is trying their real best for the consistency.
Well, definitely, I do agree on that point. Looking at the sides of Team EXO right now, you can see them rotating. You can see them heading themselves towards the play zone directly, and there can be a lot more of problems further. You can see many players all around. NTT Dark Lord has to go down due to play zone, and that's what definitely I'm scared about these hills. You go up, you climb up, but once the zone is not into your favor, going back down can be the most difficult part there, and that's why I really don't prefer going there. Team Nakul, well, Team Mayavi Nakul is being eliminated completely by the sides of Team X-Pac. Mavi there, okay, that's one more fight to the sides of Team Mayavi. Insane Mac is going for continuous grenades and Molotovs there and there on the sides of Team R Esports. Team Mayavi has been eliminated completely. Jadu is set on fire. He's been losing chunk of his HP every passing seconds, but manages to survive there and there. Insane Mac is just utilizing as much as position advantage he can, but on the other hand, well, that was amazing. Not just 1, 2, 3 players down. Exo Punk, you did that job really well, my friend. Completely eliminating the sides of Team X-Pac. Right now, we do have the sides of Team Exo there and there. It's going to be the 12th position that Team X-Pac has to depart on, Raider.
Well, of course, that was really very interesting by the hands of Team X-Pac. They were trying to decimate the lobby, but eventually they were picked off. They were the full stop was there by the hands of Team EXO, and that was really very interesting to watch that how Team EXO actually retaliated in that fight. Team X-Pac once again getting 4 frags into the perspective, and now they have been said goodbye. Now Snacks is actually getting contested by the hands of Team Celsius Max. He's trying to actually get that Carnage into perspective. He's trying to put that single tap fight, and Fierce also goes down with a brutal blow. I guess Team EXO could be picked off from this point because Snacks has been taken down. Now Fierce is also taken down. Sensei was earlier picked off, and now Panku is going to be the last man standing of his team. So let's see what these teams try to do. And if I talk about Team RE Sports, well, there we go. I guess Team EXO has been obliterated with only 7 frags into their courtyard. Team EXO has been taken down at hashtag 11. I guess only 8 points for this match.
Well, yes, they need to satisfy themselves with those points. On the other hand, when you talk about RE Sports, Jadoo is the last surviving player, and I just have one question. Can he make that magic happen? The magic is in his name, but can he make that happen? The revival has been provided. Jadoo has been caught, but no, Jadoo has to depart there and there. Akshay will be moving forward. Kennery is the last surviving player, but barely low on health. Canary, can he make it? Before saying anything, I guess that's done and dusted. Akshay will be going in for that aggressive push and completely eliminating the sides of Team RE Sports. Right now, the zone that we are having nearby the areas of El Pozo is completely a rich game to be played, and if any team plays it well, you know what they get rewarded at. Rivalry is being caught as well by the sides of Team Insane there. Team Insane is looking good by the position they are holding right now, but they do have 2 players surviving, and that's something that they need to have an eye for.
Well, of course, they have to have that eye on for, but other than that, you guys have to actually be worried about one more thing, that the swing is actually going to switch at any moment on Loco, so be ready about that, be ready about the switch, and you should actually download the Loco app, and you should just search for Sky Esports over there right now, and you should just go to the profile of Sky Esports, Hindi Sky Esports, English Sky Esports, other languages, whichever regional language you are going to watch for. But other than that, look at that, Team Blind Pokemon was actually very close to the need, and there we go, Celsius is going on at this moment. Team Celsius is actually trying to retaliate a lot. They are just trying to put more and more pressures. Meanwhile, Team OG is actually trying to puncture the team which is known as Team Rivalry Esports. That is going to be very amazing. And now Team Blind Kilwa from the zone is trying to retaliate, but still he also goes down by the zone. That was a brutal thing for him. But now only 8 teams and 18 players are going to survive, and this is going to be the end of 5th zone very soon. Team Insane getting pressurized by 2 teams. That's going to be Team Reckoning and Team Rivalry at this point.
I mean, yes, exactly. That's the most difficult part of this. You are having a great position, but the problem right now is that they have 2 surviving players. How much more can they take is the main question right now. You see, on the other hand, one team on the different edge of this map is completely at a safer side. No fights happening, nothing happening to the sides of Team Celsius there. And same, I would say, goes to the sides of Team Blind somewhere. But there you go. Team Rivalry is being caught into a fight. Team Insane is trying to take as many players down as he can. Entity, on the other hand, is surviving, is trying to get in for more position points, but will that be enough? As you know, right, the fight is just going on in the neighborhood, and it never happens that you don't open the windows to hear what's going around. So that's exactly can be the case at any moment right now. There you go. The play zone will be taking one more player down. Oh no, you have to be careful of that sprays. Eventually, one more player down to the ground. Insane players are looking good to the position they are holding, but Rivalry right now is just falling down like dominoes. Neo and Sayam, the last 2 surviving players. OG is being caught as well by Insane, but has to satisfy himself with some damages.
But of course, Darshita, now they have to go in the zone also, because Team Insane is pretty much cornered in the zone, and now Team Orangutan Gaming could actually put a very great contest for Team Insane Gaming. They are in the top 8, although the number of players are very low. We can see that we have only 15 players, but still the number of teams are very massive. It's not like we have left with only 3 or 4 teams, so that is why they have to get the position point also, because at this point, the team which is going to get eliminated at hashtag it is going to get only 1 point for their position. So that is why eventually they have to be very sharp about these things. But if I talk about some other team number 14 is actually in the zone, and that's a very great thing for them. That's going to be Team UDOG Esports, another consistent team which is again going back and forth into the zone, so that eventually they get the zone position points, the placement point. And after that, look at that, NTT Troy goes down with a brutal blow. Neo is also trying to retaliate more and more right now. Look at that, guys. Troy is not going to survive, that's for sure, and Neo has to put the pressure more and more into the perspective, so that eventually, I guess, Shadow could have actually taken down, and with that the whole team could be obliterated. And I guess Shadow has been spotted. He's trying to retreat. Oh, that was a backstab from behind, and that was Team Revenge, Akshay. That was interesting to watch.
Well, Third party is all what Miramar is about. Talking about the last 7 and the 13 live players we have on our screen, just gonna create a big cluster there. But when I see the survival live status, I can see Orangutan with 10 points once again for themselves. I mean, this just keeps on increasing. This team is not stopping anywhere. They just get a comma and there's no full stop. I would say that they have got by far. Talking more about these fights, Insane Siam is just trying to spot as many players as he can. But on the other hand, you can see the size of team Rivalry. Well, Siam barely surviving. Neo provides a great cover fire to his teammates, and there you go, 7 finishes for this amazing duo of team Insane. Mr. Spray there, well, the last surviving player out of the zone. And heal battle is not something that you would definitely go in for the map of Miramar. On the other hand, when you look at Celsius Apollo right now, Raider, he's just waiting patiently, right? He's just having so much level of patience right now.
Yeah, of course, he has to have that level of patience, otherwise he could have been eliminated. But look at Team Insane, they're just scavenging for more and more finishes. They actually managed to get one more guy right now, and other than that, now Team Celsius could be a great loss. Celsius could be a great tormenting damage for this team right now, but Team Insane going for the position point, going for the aggression point, well, that is really very massive for them. Meanwhile, Siam is also trying to retaliate. They have cooked up some smokes, and there we go! Oh, it's Sultan finally actually opens his M416, and there we go, 4x brutal spray was there, and just like that, Sultan manages to put one more guy down right now. But other than that, Celsius Apollo trying to utilize more and more of his utilities and trying to decimate, and this was a very great start of the beginning of the end, because if I guess Old Hood Sultan was not there, Team Orangutan was looking very strong.
Well, yes, definitely. Sultan will be trying to take Ash down. Orangutan is definitely looking good, but now it is difficult for them, I would say, to survive. A revival needs to be given to the teammate, but Sultan is already aware of what position Ash is holding there. On the other hand, Team Insane has been eliminated, and we do have the top 3 teams for today. That's going to be Orangutan, Celsius, and Old Hood Esports. Celsius looking good with 7 finishes for themselves, but they do have 50% chances. Win prediction, we do have 50% win prediction. On the other hand, 33.33 for OG, and Old Hood at 16.67. Sultan is being caught by Playzone. Okay, Playzone will be the reason of Sultan just going off completely. Orangutan, last player is going to be Ash. Now it's going to be a 1v3 situation for Ash, and we have seen this player clutching it. One player is down to the ground. Second, can he make that happen? Second goes down to the ground. Apollo, oh my god, it's gonna be a clutchable situation for Ash. If he is able to clutch it, it is gonna change things around. Oh my god! Oh my god! I mean, what? Team Orangutan getting a chicken dinner that was least expected with one surviving player. Ash, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, dude, it was really very amazing, and finally Team Orangutan comes back into the fight right now, because back to back they have got, let's not say back to back, but in 4 matches they have got 2 winner chicken dinner, and with this they have marked the entry. They have marked that they are going to cross the 50-point margin, and they are going to pass it very peacefully, because now I guess if I'm not wrong, they are going to get close to 14 points for the frags and 15 points for the winner chicken dinner, of course. So I guess that could be very amazing for them right now. They could easily cross 70 points at this moment, and that is going to be very amazing for them, because this was a very great start for the team. Team Orangutan Gaming was trying to defend, but Ash, man, believe it or not, that was one hell of a battle. That was one hell of a battle. He did a 1v3 on Celsius, man. What more do you want from this lobby now?
I just feel like going down. I mean, I'm just falling short of words right now. It's just not about the 1v3. It's even about the position Celsius was holding. If you remember, Celsius was holding a higher ground advantage where Ash was really... First of all, he was low on HP. Secondly, he didn't have enough of utilities to work around with. Thirdly, he was having a lower ground disadvantage. But still, the way this man has clutched the fight, I mean, wow.
That was really very amazing, Darshita. I just literally went on to be like, that was a very surprising moment for me. I was expecting that Team Celsius would easily get that winner chicken dinner because A, they had the manpower, B, they had the high rigid, and other than that, Team Orangutan Ash was actually damaged from OH Sultan also. So that is why he was actually panicked. He was actually pressurized from all the angles, but still he managed to get that victory. This was a huge win for him. Eventually, this is semi-finale, but still, this was huge. This was huge. Literally, that was a very damaging 1v3 from his angle.
I mean, I would really like to, remind the audience that we do have a prize. We do have individual prize as well. That's the MVP and the MVP team as well. So, Orangutan Ash. I mean, I just don't know what to say. The way this guy is approaching the map of Miramar is just hitting different right now. You saw the previous map of Miramar. This man changed things entirely with grenades. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited right now. I'm falling out of words. But yeah, the way they are approaching the fight right now with grenades blazing on towards enemies, with the way the fights are going. Let's just have more talk with highlights. Well, I just need to see that again. And thank you so much, production end, for these highlights.
Of course, the highlights are very amazing. It's like we are reliving the moments which have been passed. Other than that, if we talk about Team R Esports, well, they were able to clutch down one more guy, but eventually Team Revenge Esports was the one to actually take that fight into their perspective. And look at that, Akshay was the one to get that last frag into his perspective, and then Akshay was the one final eliminator for the team right now. But then Team Blind actually came in with a fight with Team Celsius. But then look at that, Pokemon goes on with a brutal bow, and eventually look at that, the zone was shrinking, the fights were very near, the zone closer was actually very near. Team Insane was actually very definitive about the situation which was there right now. But Entity Shadow remaining the last man standing. Entity Shadow was the last man standing, but Revenge Games comes in from the backstabbing area, and just like that, he actually obliterates Team Entity. Other than that, it was very interesting to watch that how the fights were going on. But I just want to see that last fight coming up where OG Ash did a 1v3 on Team Celsius. That was literally the highlight of the whole match. That was literally the only thing I'm very excited about at this point.
I mean, the way Team Insane was, holding the position somewhere, I really had the hope of this team just dominating and taking this chicken dinner. But somewhere there's just 1% of thing that doesn't work in your favor, and at the end everything just falls off. And that's what exactly happened. You see that, right? Team OG was completely into an open area where Believe was down to the ground, and one more player, I guess that's Pehchana Khan, was down to the ground. But he was revved back, and it was a 1v3 situation. One player down to the ground, second player even actually goes down with that ADS, and that's done. It's like a clutchable situation. It's like, I mean, I don't know. There you see OG Ash, twice his name in this of the match for the best companion, 3 revivals, last finisher, 5 finishes for himself, and it's gonna be Pehchan Khan for going all out with 7 finishes.
Well, with this kind of performance, we will actually once again know who is this guy. But again, OG Pehchan Khan was able to get 7 Avenging packs into his courtyard, and a total damage was of 909. Other than that, if I talk about OG Ash, well, best companion was into the favor of OG Ash because he has got 3 revivals, 0 assists, but still 3 revivals are very accurate for the point. But other than that, OG Ash was also the final eliminator, let's say, nail into the coffin of Team Celsius. And with this, you can already see start of the match is fully lit by the Team OG.
I said right. I said that. I mean, consistency, yes, we do want, but this is different level that we are witnessing right now. Team Orangutan again with amazing and a delicious chicken dinner for themselves with a total of 29 points. Celsius on the second position with 20. Insane on the third position with 15. Old Toad on the fourth with 12 points. That's the end of double digits, and there you go. Team EXO with 8, Revenge Esports with 7, Reckoning Esports with 6, Rivalry Esports with 4, Team Entity with 4.
Of course, this leaderboard, man, oh man, Orangutan going out with 29 amazing points. That is really very delicious for them right now, and this chicken is going to be very amazing. Eventually, not that amazing as it was for the map of Erangel, where they got 19 amazing frags into their courtyard. But with this actually victory, they are going to get 14 more into their courtyard. So that is actually very brilliant for them. Other than that, Celsius Esports also doing a very great job after getting 8 finishes. They were unable to get that victory, but still they were able to get 8 amazing finishes and 8 amazing points in terms of finishes. But then 12 points for the position. Also, Insane Esports going out with 15 points. Old Road coming up with 12 points. EXO coming up with 8 points, and Team Revenge Esports coming up with 7 points. But the only 2 teams with 0 points are gonna be Team Mayavi and Team Revenant right now. In the last match, we saw Team Mayavi came up to the the runner-up position. Hyderabad Hydras were the one which actually eliminated Team Mayavi in the last map of Erangel. But eventually in this match, if I say, Team Mayavi was unable to grasp even a single point, and just like that, Team Revenant was also picked off by the hands of Team EXO, if I'm not wrong. EXO was the one, Team EXO was the one which actually eliminated them. But then if I talk about Team X-Park, they got only 3 points in their consideration with the terms of finishes and 1 point for the position. Our Esports did the same job. Blind Esports with only 2 points, 1 for position, 1 for finishes. Hyderabad Hydras going out with only 1 points for frags right now. Hyderabad Hydras last match, there was the victory, there was a winner, chicken dinner. And look at that, Orangutan already with 70 points.
Orangutan on the first position with 39 finishes in just 3 maps played, 39 finishes, 31 placement points, and a total of 70 for themselves.
Sorry to disturb, Darshita. Sorry to disturb, but look at the irony.
Exactly.
Look at the irony that Orangutan has got 39 finishes, and if I talk about Team Hyderabad Hydras, they've got the overall point.
Exactly. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult for the sides of the next 3 or 4 teams to catch the sides of Orangutan. I mean, a huge difference of 31 point is what Orangutan is holding right now.
Well, this bounce back by Ash and his teammates were amazing, man. They played 3 matches.
I would definitely give half of the credits to Ash right now. The way the last fight was clutched by Ash.
Yeah, indeed. That was a highlight of the match. Eventually, they were not going to get that winner chicken dinner, but then Ash comes in with that beautiful blow, and he just literally devastated the whole fight with that beautiful info section, and just like that, he got that victory. He was unable to heal himself, but still, he manages to clutch that fight. But then, eventually, if I talk about top 9 to top 16 stats, well, Team Mayavi was on top 6 on hashtag 6 or hashtag 5 in the last leaderboard, but now you can see that he has been declining, he has been going down, and with that, you can see that Team Mayavi, with only 23 points is here, Team EXO climbing up very fast with 22 points, and look at the number of finishes they have got. They have got 16 finishes for themselves. That means they are a very aggressive team, but they are unable to get that position, or let's say that ranking into the perspective right now. I guess EXO Sensei has to do his job.
Well, yes. But one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me remind you that the stream on YouTube can end at any moment right now. So if you want to continue watching SKYESPORTS GRANDSLAM, you need to head towards Loco directly. Go to Play Store and make sure you download Loco and continue this amazing action happening. On the third sides of overall standing, once again, we do have our Esports with a total of 14, Enigma with 8, Team X-Park with 8, Team Nugget with 6, OR and Revenant with 6 for themselves as well. Team 8-Bit with a 4 total for them, and Marcos Gaming with a total of 2 for them.
Yeah, of course, Marcos Gaming could come up once again because just now they have only played only 2 matches right now. There could be a bouncing back coming up in the next upcoming matches right now, and Team 8-Bit as well could actually bounce back. But if I talk about teams like X-Park, teams like Enigma has also played only 2 matches. So we'll talk about Team X-Park, R Esports, OR Esports, and Team Revenant. Well, they have played 3 matches. They have played the highest number of matches which any other team has played, but still they are not able to actually get the grasp, or let's say be into the leaderboard table toppers list. But that is something they have to work on, but yet this is the day number 1. We never know what is going to happen eventually. And there we go. The map schedule is also here right now. Let's discuss on this.
Well, yes, 4 matches done and dusted. We are heading towards Erangel once again. I mean, the way the show is flowing on the very first day itself is just making me imagine on what grand finales will look like. We know, right? These teams get 20 chances, 20 maps played, and the top 10 teams are directly qualified to the grand finales. And I'm just excited to know which teams they will be, and eventually will it be a qualified team or an invited team? As qualified team, you know, right? They have just traveled a long journey from. Yes. Just let me remind you, we started off with registrations where we got a huge response, but yes, we got 3,000 slots. We had 5 rounds, and the teams were qualified to the quarterfinales, and then here on from quarterfinales we had top 6 teams from round 1 to round 5 were qualified to the semi-finales. Like from the quarterfinales to semi-finales, and right now from semi-finales, top 10 teams to the grand finales.
Yes, of course. It was really very amazing to watch that how the teams are actually trying to engage, how the teams are trying to actually fight it out. But other than that, we have teams like Revenant, teams like EXO trying their level best. But eventually they are not coming up as sharply as we wanted to see. But few qualified teams are actually trying to outperform all the other invited team. That's going to be Team Insane Esports, just because they are in the leaderboard table toppers. Let's say in the top 12 teams, Insane Esports is also resigning their place in the top 12 teams. But of course, you have to be in top 10 to be qualified in the grand finale. And that is something these teams are looking forward to. But other than that, let's talk about some other team which is actually trying to grind hard. That's going to be Team Mayavi also, because they have got the hashtag 9 position if I'm not wrong, and they are in the table toppers list. They are the quarter-final qualified team, so again it is going to be very amazing to watch. But if I talk about UDOG India, well, they are also trying to outperform. 3 teams are trying to outperform, 3 teams are not performing at this moment. That's NGT Gaming, Revenge Esports and Team Nugget, which are qualified from the quarter finale. Well, I guess they have to rack up some seriousness and gain more and more position points, gain more and more finishes points, because it's all about the consistency at this point. You have to get equal number of finishes point and equal number of position points eventually, so that you can gain that position right now. Just imagine, guys, if our Team Orangutan Gaming has got 39 points for their frags. If they actually get that 39 points for their position also in the second match, if I'm not wrong, they were picked off really very early. If they have got that position point, then just think about the whole leaderboard going up.
Well, yes. That's the thing, right? You talk about you really say that well, we have 5 days of grand finale. We have 5 days of semi-finales to play around with, but trust me, that's not enough. The day one, the things that you perform on day one entirely reflects on the last 4 days that you have. You build confidence, you build momentum on the day one. You yourself completely just go ham, or maybe just play in such a way that you are crowned as the number 1 team on the end of overall standings after day 1, and that's where you gain that confidence, that's where you gain that momentum. And trust me, that is definitely needed. If you are lacking low on confidence, if you are lacking really low on momentum, and you do have a great gun power, I doubt you are really gonna able to work it in your favor.
Yeah, of course, it is going to be very amazing that if you actually try to favor yourself, try to learn from your mistakes, try to learn from your past experience at this moment, and then actually come back into the fight, that is going to be amazing. So I guess few teams are going to bounce back very, very soon. That could be Skylightz Gaming, Team 8-bit at the bottom of the leaderboard, could bounce back very, very soon with a beautiful winner chicken and good amount of finishes could be there right now, because these teams are more than capable to do these kind of stuff right now. Of course, they could bounce back. But now the match number 5 is going to be here anytime, and that is going to be into group A into C. Well, let me remind you about the whole situation of Group A into C. Well, that's going to be in Group A. We have Team Revenant, EXO, Rivalry Esports, RGE Esports, Celsius Esports, OR Esports, and 2 qualified teams are also there. That's going to be Team NGT and Team Insane Esports. If I talk about the next group which is going to be there in the fight, well, that's going to be Group number C. Of course, you are going to see Skylightz Gaming, 8-bit Tactical Esports getting that victory. After that, Tactical Esports was choking down in the next match. But let's see in the third match what and how they are going to perform. Team Enigma Gaming is still here. Marcos Gaming is going to be there. Team Forever with Mashkas and all his buddies are going to be there right now. And 2 qualified teams are going to be UDOG India and Team Nugget, which are going to compete in this battle.
I mean, you do have 2 chances for today. Not this. It's not just the end. It's the beginning of semi-finales. I do understand, but you do have 2 chances to take the top leading team down. You can just push them down by pushing yourself to such a limit that you are capable of doing. So make sure that you guys definitely are doing your best, putting all your energy that you can. The next map, the next fight is gonna be in the map of Erangel once again, and I don't think I'm gonna give any predictions this time, as I was proven to be really bad at the previous map of Miramar. So yes, definitely I won't be going into any kind of prediction. But yes, if I ask you, Raider, which team do you think right now is doing such a great job that the map of Erangel can be written into their names?
I would go for Team EXO. There could be a comeback coming from that team right now. Other than that, we have one more team that's going to be Skylightz Gaming, which is going to chase for the Skylights. Let's see what eventually happens in that. But let me remind you guys, we had a total of 28 teams, out of which 6 are qualified, out of which, I guess if I'm not wrong, few are qualified from 6 are qualified from the quarter finale, and the rest of the teams were invited. and now the battle is actually on. As you can see, the fights are actually coming up in very sharply, and out of 24 teams, you are going to see only top 10 teams going for the grand finale. And in grand finale, these 10 teams are going to face off with the team VLT, formerly known as IND. Other than that, we are going to see Team Soul also coming up in the battle. Team Godlike will be there. Team 7C Esports is going to be there. Team TSM and Cayman Esports is also going to welcome all of these grand finalists which are going to be qualified. And of course, you guys already remember that the prize pool is of 15 lakh rupees, and that's a massive chunk of prize pool. At #1, whichever team which is going to choose, which is going to lift the trophy of Grand Slam, is going to lift up with 8 lakh rupees.
Well, definitely, yes. We do have some individual prizes as well. MVP 1 lakh rupees, and moreover, the MVP team gets 50,000. So just imagine the situation of being the winner, you having your own player as the MVP, and your team racking up the most number of finishes. You get a huge chunk of that 15 lakhs back to your home, and I'm definitely not gonna ask of what are you gonna do with that 15 lakhs, but anyways, we do have many prizes, and that's just I would say that's not just about pride and glory. As I say, it's about the prize pool, it's about the title of being the champions of AMD SKYESPORTS Grand Slam, and trust me, that's a huge one.
So guys, a little brief about the whole semi-finale situation which is coming up right now. That's going to be that the top 6 teams from quarter finale will face off against 18 invited teams which are here right now in the lobby. Other than that, they will be split into 3 groups of 8 teams each in a group. Other than that, it will actually run for a span of 5 days, out of which you are going to see some amazing tournament, amazing clashes coming up. But right now, guys, after a long anticipation, now 5th match is going to start. We have the flight path coming up. Darshita, have a look at it.
Well, the fly path is all set, and we do welcome back Captain onto the desk. So I guess this map is gonna be carried forward by Raider and Captain Price. We'll be meeting y'all guys really very soon.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Well, this match is interesting, this match is amazing, but we should not forget one simple thing that we have witnessed in the previous match. What is it? It is nothing but the domination of Orangutan. They have secured 2 chicken dinners in a single day. Can you believe that? Out of 3 matches, they have secured 2 chicken dinners. But